physical. It's time to talk some piss and more. We gonna talk about it all. DVD, CD, UHD, VHS, corpse, Blu-ray. Who knows, maybe you'll even see the laser disc today. Let's get physical. We wanna talk some physical media. Movies and TV, music and more. Come check out what we have in store. This is the Media House Stream. It's time for some physical media on FanZcene.
I know it was like really popular because it like won some Oscars and whatever, but
Jimmy does dance.
It's got the Mighty Ducks guy. It's got that guy.
No! Yes, but no! He's not the Mighty Ducks guy! It's Emilio Estevez! For the Emilio! You can never have enough physical media.
The Physical Media Show is filmed before the live studio audience.
That's right.
Yes. Hey, you in the back, take your top off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hello, fellow fellows.
We'll give you a free T-shirt.
Yeah. Get the T-shirt gun ready. Boom.
Shit, I think you killed her.
Well, she was a blonde.
Yeah, she got in the way, right in the line of fire. So
she didn't know to put her hands up. But hello, fellow fellows. Welcome back to the Physical Media Show here on FanZcene. It's me, just me and Top tonight. Maybe we'll see if I can get somebody else in. But yeah, we're going to. People just don't want to show up anymore. What can I say? But we're glad to have you guys with us as always to show off and talk about physical media. So let's say hi to the
physical.
I want to see your shelves talk.
Did you see I've been talking about physical media the last couple days on X, getting all fired up about some Star Wars?
Yes, I did actually. I did see that. You've been down in the thick of it fighting the Star Wars fight. Yeah.
Tell you what. Just certified totally. Anyway, sorry.
If Star Wars fans, man, that's why I know we talked a lot about that here lately because we watched movies, I watched Fanboys and all that, but Star Wars fans are a different breed nowadays. I just kind of avoid them anymore. So, and I'm one of them.
The problem is there's too many subsections, right? Like, yeah, I consider myself, at this point, I guess if I had to classify myself, I would simply just go with I'm in the OG crowd. I could give a shit less. I can't deal with anybody else's bullshit anymore. Like, they have gotten so vitriol, however you say it, to where it's just like, I just can't deal with their bullshit.
Right.
Of any of their groups. Right. Like, especially certain ones that I've been dealing with the last few days, because it's like their hypocrisy is astounding.
It's
because for those who don't know, we're talking about the EU fans who, for some reason, get all up in arms because they're generally all George apologists. Now, they're not all the same. Like, there's bubbles. Like I said, there's so many subsections now. Right. So there's a section of EU fans who are also George apologists, right, who can't see the irony that they have been on and on now for over a decade that Disney killed the extended universe, right? But get all up and triggered whenever anybody says, I just want the unaltered trilogy.
Right.
Because that to them is not George's vision. It's like the hypocrisy there is astounding. Not to mention all the other arguments that we got into, but like that's kind of the gist of it, kids, just so everybody knows what we're talking about. Sorry, Tom and Terry is over now.
I'm all with you, man. I like the original unaltered. I don't George Lucas. I mean, even still like, which we'll bring up tonight. Steven Spielberg even learned his lesson over that stuff. So
well, no, and the problem is you have, especially if you're somebody. Look, I get it. If you're a Star Wars fan, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a film fan, and that's totally fair. But if you're somebody who's just going to parrot back what he says to me and then ignore every bit of evidence I tell you, especially somebody like me who knows a thing or two about film, then you're a fucking retard.
Right.
I'm sorry.
It's true.
I'm not trying to be mean, but if you're just going to sit there and go, yeah, but George said that the original negative is destroyed and no longer exists, no matter how many times you want to change your argument, it's like bullshit. That's not how the Force works.
That's not how the Force works.
He says that, but if you really interpret what he's saying, it's that that's the only version I am allowing out there anymore. That's my new negative now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's not the actual negative. Because even people like John Knoll, who's worked on from ILM, and Gareth Edwards, of course you recognize that name, have both said they have seen the fucking negative.
Mm-hmm.
They've worked with the negative.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was John Knoll himself who said, what the fuck do you think George scanned to make his fucking special editions with?
Exactly.
and as far as I know, he's meticulous like Francis Ford Coppola is. To where he has every single bit of film he shot for Star Wars, even the stuff that was never used, every breakdown of all the special effects. And that's another reason why it was so easy for him to put together the special editions. Because he had all that shit still. So him saying, and what he's saying is that the negative did need some restoration. Guess what? Every negative needs restoration that's older than like 2000.
Yeah, everyone.
Sorry to tell you this, but that's just the way it fucking works. And guess what? Jaws was in a hell of a lot worse shape than Star Wars was.
Yep.
Just watch that feature. We'll get into that maybe tonight.
Yeah.
So that's a good segue for me to shut the fuck up, Tom. So thank you. Court dismissed.
Always love a good Tom rant. That's a good one. But welcome everybody to the chat. We got Danny Hooley.
You can clip that, Danny. You can clip that too.
Yeah, we might clip that there. Danny Hooley. I hope I'm saying your name right. If I didn't, I apologize. And yes, I'm looking forward to episode 201 tonight as well.
It is 201.
It's 201. Like I really got to open up the live channel and get all of them over there. It's just me though. Like I don't have an editor or anybody. It's all me. So and trying to find time and days to do stuff like that. So
especially getting somebody to do it for free or next to nothing.
Yeah. Yep. And we do have Ace Hanlon that says, "How's it going? Stay cool." Yes, we are in the middle of a heat wave here, so I hope you're.
We're in the middle
cool.
of a storm and a tornado watch, evidently. So if I disappear. You know what? Is a warning or a watch that's worse?
I've always wondered that
as many tornadoes here. So any of you people in Tornado Alley out there that know, because I think it's a warning that's worse, right?
Yeah, I think watch is just like be on the lookout.
Yeah, just pay attention. Shit might happen. If you hear the go downstairs.
Yeah.
I'm actually up on a hill, so I should be mostly fine. Like if it hits, it's gonna hit down there.
Yeah. We're Ohio, so it's all flat. So
yeah, that's the thing. I'm not even gonna get into all that shit. It's just geography here is nuts because we got bluffs, we got valleys, we got crooks and nannies. Anyway, Ace Hanlon's here. I saw 6 in the chat.
Yes, we did see that. We got Dilba Fett, how to you? Style Selection, hell to you. Brian Barth, hell to you. Tim Hayes, hell to you. Glad to have you with us. Psycho Not Your Daddy says, "Hola, remember Full Metal Jacket anniversary tomorrow. Hope all is well with everyone." Yes, sir. And then we do have Bronson Wright Wolf already sending us in a $10 super chat right now. I gotta get a trick or treat from the movie Trick or Treat for Bronson here, because he's always kind enough to send in these super chats and talk about the movie Trick or Treat. So speaking of Mark Price, he says, "If you have watched those videos I sent you the ideals for a sequel for Trick or Treat 1986, please share your thoughts on those ideals. I would love to hear your thoughts." I haven't got a chance to watch them yet, Bronson. I will. I know you sent me a message. I'm kind of been running behind a little lately on a lot of things. Like I said, once again, this is all me running all this. Plus I do work and kids and stuff. So sometimes I don't get, sometimes I fall behind a little bit, but I will get to them and I will give you my thoughts. And I thank you so very much for your $10 super chat. As I do appreciate you, Bronson. Like I said, I really need to get.
Did he send them to me too, or just you?
I know he sent them to me, but I don't know if he sent them to you. So
yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't see, because sometimes I don't get all messages or things get shuffled around. So remind me where. You don't have to send in it. Well, go ahead and send Greg in another super chat if you want to.
Yeah,
but you can just tell me in the chat is what I was trying to say of where you sent it, so I know where to look for it, Bronson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we talked about this a little bit last week, where you and I kind of like the idea of how like the internet works now and everything like that with MP3s and and that was kind of the whole digging into the idea of how he wanted to spread the music and how he can ultimately become viral worldwide. Kind of thing. So
that does like lead it. And plus, you could like,
and then you can do a third one in space.
Yeah. like with the 80s nostalgia, I mean, like everybody's crazy online for 80s nostalgia. So like his 80s level mystique would grow exponentially. So
yeah, and then you shoot him into outer space. Like, there, we got rid of him. We shot a beam in outer space. Oh shit! Now
Sammy
we've got
Kerr in
Trick or Treat
space,
in
man.
space.
The biggest problem with like that is like who would you get to replace the guy that played Sammy Kerr, because he did do such a good job as playing like a rock star. So you'd have to get somebody to match that. So that would be the biggest.
Yeah, that's the tough. Do you recast him? Do you get permission to maybe do some sort of AI makeup mixture thing, kind of like the better one I've seen was the Star Trek one where they did with Shatner and the kid Sam Whitmer. Yeah, see, that actually works because most of that was makeup, is my understanding, to where you couldn't even really tell, and it was just more so that Sam must have studied Shatner's body language and stuff like that, to where it worked. You could do something like that. You could find a new musician who, or kind of find a way to, the next generation of Trick or Treat, like another musician who's trying to do a similar thing, only this time it's through those means. Again, I haven't got to see those videos, so I can't comment on their
I need to see them. I will get to them, yes. And Sim Witwer could almost replace the guy, seriously, himself, because he does kind of look like him.
I mean, yeah, with the way technology is nowadays, especially with, the deep fake and all that kind of business, as long as you find somebody with the similar features and stuff like that, you kind of surprised what you can pull off. I mean,
but I do thank you, Bronson. I will get to those videos and your message as soon as I can. I'm sorry I'm a little backlogged, and thank you as always for the $10 super chat. I truly do appreciate that. Always love that. That's the thumbs up to you. And then we do have Tyrell72. Live long and prosper, my good friend. Hell to you, Dragonzilla. 6. We have 6. Tosses top.
She's upset at me for my little rant. I didn't really expect her to be here, though. So.
Then we do have.
It's like she's behind me, isn't she?
She follows you. She knows.
Now, she's not the person I was talking about at all, but she is.
Oh, yeah.
A big George fan, so like she doesn't like it when I talk about George like that.
I get you. And hell to you, happy dinosaur. I know it's your birthday, so happy birthday to you. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just they don't like it, but
it's not George's preferred version, and that's kind of where, like I said, there's several kind of groups that kind of fall into this category, because there are people. It's weird. I mean, there's plenty of people who have no problems with it, no qualms with people who like either or. Right. But when it comes down to this whole thing of when you say, well, George is a liar or a bit of a hypocrite for what he's doing, they get very defensive, and it's understandable, right? I mean, if you're a huge fan of somebody or something like that, that's fine. I'm a huge fan of a lot of people, but I'm also somebody who's learned a long time ago, especially somebody who's met some celebrities in their life, that you kind of have to separate some shit, right? You have to remember, no matter how much you like somebody and are a fan of them, they're probably a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I've dealt with some, right? I mean, I'm a fucking asshole, right? Like, I know I am. Like, I'm not gonna deny that. I mean, but at the end of the day, there's probably shit that they've done or said that is shitty. To me, it's just kind of shitty that he's trying to say that we fell in love with what he felt was an unfinished product. It's like, well, too bad. I already ate the burger.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can't come and put pickles on it now, to me. Some people are fine with that. They'll more than happy to have that version, or they come up with arguments or reasons why they. And I listen and understand most of their reasoning. But as we talked about, what was it, 2 weeks ago, when we both brought on the ones, like, and I compared them to the ones that are out there now that George did, and they're just, all it is because he wants them all to look more uniformly digital,
like one solid universe type thing.
Yeah, that's his main reason for doing this. So, like, at the end of the day, do I understand it? Yes, but I wish he'd just be honest about it. He kind of has been in like roundabout ways, like other things, but it's like, don't tell people that the negative doesn't exist or that the movie no longer exists, because when he says that, what he is saying is the version you like doesn't exist to me.
Right.
Because I'm the director or the owner when it comes to Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Because that's another thing where I call him a hypocrite, because regardless of if Kirshner gave him fucking permission to alter it or not, Marquand is dead and could not give him any permission. And even if he was the producer and technically owned the films, there's a lot of other people's work that he's literally just destroying and taking out. To me, not allowing the other version out there is a kick to the nuts, or a slap to the face to those people. So at the end of the day, we got plenty of other shit to talk about. So.
Yes. Well, speaking of which, I've met Sam Witwer, and I've met Darth Maul too. So talking about celebrities, I've actually met them in person.
The Darth Maul? Did he lift you up off the ground?
No, but he was over there.
Which half?
The whole half. What is his name? I can't even think of his name right now. Ray Parks. He was like bragging to some dude about how he could flip over somebody's head and snap their neck and down, and that's why he doesn't do UFC. And I'm just like, this guy is so full of shit.
I've heard he's a bit full of himself. So
yeah, I was laughing when I heard it. But I have a picture with Sam Witwer, but I don't share it because I was like, my face was like that. I looked awful.
Whatever. We all know that you've come a long way, baby. So
I know. But hell to you, Berserkers. Glad to have you with us. 6 once again is bad. Let's make sure I got everybody here.
6.
I can't remember shit takes.
She's not even listening anymore, I'm sure.
Hey, I get thumbs down all the time as well. What can I say? Hello to you, 4K cinema. I was actually told I have autism in one video I did, and that I don't mask it well. It's like his
just in the video.
Yeah, he's like, the guy was like, "Oh, this man has massive autism and he doesn't mask it well," and I'm like, "I'm not autistic." But it's okay. I mean, it's okay if you are, but I don't know. It's weird. And I think we're all caught up. We have Reverend Jim as well. How do you, Reverend Jim? Special editions. What do we have on tap? I know once again we don't get the arrows till Friday, but it looks like one of them might be Creep Show 2 for 4K possibly. At least that's what it looked like they were teasing with the picture they showed. But what do we have?
Yeah, I think they already didn't half-ass announce that, or somebody already leaked that. I think.
So I think it was kind of leaked.
Yeah, I hadn't seen too much for new releases this week. Other like Kino, I haven't heard any. So I kind of have to. I haven't bring me up to speed if there was any.
I don't think I know. The Barnes and Noble is going to have a 50% off Criterion sale starting this Friday.
Starting tomorrow. Yep.
So
is it tomorrow? It starts tomorrow.
Is tomorrow the 27th?
Or is it the 27th? Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was the 26th. Maybe I'm wrong. I am wrong, probably. I'm horrible with days, so you're probably right. Friday makes more sense. So, yeah, I think the only things that I remember offhand was the Neverending Stories just getting a singular or a steelbook release, which I think it's already gotten a single release from imprint. Kind of mad. If I'd have known that the steelbook was coming, I wouldn't have bought that big box of fucking book I haven't brought on yet.
Right.
But I'm a Cheerleader is the only other newer film I guess is that I remember being announced.
The Rundown is coming to 4K from Kino.
Yeah, that's
The Rock.
I thought we mentioned that one before though.
I think we did, but I think we got the date now is what I think is because August 26th. But yeah, I think we announced that. That's all I'm seeing myself. I'm looking too. So.
Yeah, it's been a kind of a slow week as far as announcements. Yeah, there was a couple of Blu-rays from Kino, like Lords of Discipline, Scoop. Those two I had never heard of. Undisputed, I think we've mentioned that one before, but again, I think now we have the info on it. Same thing with Two Jakes.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think
Frankenstein's Bloody Terror in 3D. I don't remember if we said that one in Chillerama.
I don't know if we mentioned that one or not.
Blu-ray 3D at least, and then Smokin' Blue in the Face, which also I think we announced before, but yeah, because now I'm getting back into last week's shit here. So yeah, no, I think that's about it.
That's it. So yeah, and then but of course Friday you'll get this no more from Arrow. What's up? Yeah.
Go ahead.
What's up as well, VHS Masker? Glad to see you in the chat. By the way, his little documentary that I am in is winning all kinds of awards in the award circuit. So,
oh really?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes. He's killing it out there. So, yeah. I just hope when people see it and they get to because I'm not like I know I'm in it. I brag about that, but I'm like in it for like not very long. So, but I just hope people like my little segment that I am in his documentary.
You're like Mike Wazowski, aren't you? Oh, Mike, I'm sorry. I was amazing.
It was perfect. Hey, but I mean, how often do you get to say you're in a documentary with Joe Bob Briggs, Lloyd Kaufman, and Debbie Rochon, and people like that? So, yeah. But I'm the star. I'm clearly the star of the picture. So.
Sure you are. Sure you are. Of course.
Clearly the star.
Cut print. 78 minutes, it says Tim Haves. Yeah. You're in the extended director's cut, probably.
I'm in it for like 60 minutes, and the rest is all about Tom and his journey into becoming a filmmaker and all that.
Not me, the other Tom.
The other Tom.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get this other super chat real quick from Bronson before we get into our picks. And then Bronson for $5 once again. And thank you very much once again, Bronson, for the $5. Says, my ideal for a sequel to Trick or Treat will involve Christopher Walken. Also, I only sent those videos to Greg and several other people. Okay, so he hasn't sent them to you. But yes, I mean, I think Christopher Walken would be cool as in the movie. So, yeah.
Other than him, his age, that's the only thing, yeah.
I mean, he could play like the radio DJ. He could replace Gene Simmons as the radio DJ. So he's got that voice.
Still alive. So.
Yeah, Gene Simmons is still alive, but he never really wanted to do the movie in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
So
I see.
Because they asked him to be Sammy Kerr, and he's like, "No, I'd rather just be Wolfman Jack," because he really didn't want to do it. So, but thank you once again, Bronson. I appreciate that. And since you sent that in, I'll give you a little bit of. Here we go.
That's why I want you to eat me. Don't you want to eat me?
Well.
Well. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. But all right, Tom, let's see what do you have for us? Your first pick of the night.
Do we want to do the shared one, or do we want to do something different?
We can, since you know what, since that is probably going to be a big bulk conversation.
A little bit.
I'll go ahead and show my version of it first because I got something.
Since we already kind of teased it, yeah.
Yeah, I have the new 4K of Jaws. Because I actually did not own Jaws on 4K. So
there you go.
Yeah. So I ended up buying
the new documentary. Did you watch the documentary?
Yes, I did watch the documentary as well. Because this was my old Jaws. Because I thought the Blu-ray looked amazing to begin with, and then like all the years you kept talking about the 4K.
Oh, nice! You got the
little digibook type thing.
Digibook.
Yeah, all the years you've been talking about the 4K, I was like, I need to really get those, and I finally got this one on the 4K. Nice. So yeah, and it does have the. I better did not do that there. And then the 4K, and then the documentary comes on its own Blu-ray disc all by itself. So yeah. Which
I kind of hope they just release it on its own at this point. Like I didn't think the Steelbook looked all that great.
Mm-hmm.
And as you'll see here, I mean, I also have the Blu-ray, but I got the this version of it.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't even know they did it. For some reason, I didn't even know there was a digibook version of this. This was the 100th anniversary of Universal cover, and it's just the standard Blu-ray on the inside. And then, of course, I have the old 4K lenticular version.
Oh, nice. I like that one.
Yeah, where it has the booklet and the Blu-ray and all that business in there. And then I also have, because I happened to come across it when Walmart had gotten their hands on some old stock from the Best Buy exclusives. I got this Steelbook, which I admired quite a bit. If I remember right, was it Runner who had it?
I think so. I think it was Runner.
Yeah,
because I know it wasn't Rookie. He probably don't even like Jaws.
Yeah. So and I picked this up for a decent price. So I don't need another Steelbook of it, right?
Right.
And the beauty of it is, if you had this already in digital, they just upgraded it with Jaws 50. So I got it for free.
Yeah. There you go.
So I technically don't have to buy it, although I'd like to have a physical copy of it, which I would just slip in with, this version. But yeah, I mean, this is my favorite movie of all time. Normally, I'm wearing a Jaws shirt.
Yeah, I know.
Some type on every other day. Like today, I'm actually wearing a Ninja Turtle shirt. But yeah. But yeah, how many times have you seen Jaws?
I've seen Jaws a million times. You've probably seen it more than me, but I've seen it a million times. I remember seeing it. I want to say about eight, 8 or 10 is when I first saw Jaws. I want to say it was on TV, and I loved the movie. Of course, Quint was my favorite character when I was a kid, when growing up, because I love the scene. I just absolutely always, which I know I'm jumping ahead of myself, and I know everybody says this, but I really truly do just absolutely love the scene when they're all three in the cabin in the boat singing and talking and sharing their scars and the USS Indianapolis story. I know they said it, but that scene is just absolutely freaking amazing, and it just holds your attention the whole time, and you really get to know these characters so well in that moment. And I also rewatching this time, I forgot how much of a looker Mrs. Brody was. And there's actually one scene. There's one scene when she comes out in that bathing
You're just
suit.
getting older.
Yeah, I am. That's true. I am getting older, so that's
What it
maturing.
is.
Maturing is realizing those women that you think are old women are actually your age, and they're so
Yeah, because
good.
before that, you never noticed her because she was an older
Yeah.
woman, right?
Yeah.
Now you're getting about her age, and you're like, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's
That's the fucked up part. You're sitting here going, Jesus Christ, I'm like Brody's age, or older than Brody, actually.
Yeah. It gets you. It gets you. I mean, that's
We're
what.
actually more like Quint's age at that point.
Yeah, that's true. But that's the point. Like, there's a scene where she's literally in her bathing suit, and you can see her, Mrs. Brody's breast. You can see them. That's how clear and great this transfer of the 4K is. I mean, like, this is magnificent. When you talked about it before, because you said this was like got you into the 4Ks. This is an amazing 4K looking movie.
Well, because I told Bill Hunt, I said, I'm not getting 4K till Jaws comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And Jaws came out.
And it looks good. It looks really good.
It is. It's one of the older, I guess, I mean, it was scanned back in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
But Universal did a really good job back then of really trying. There's a great documentary on here, too, where they cover the restoration.
Right.
And you see how rough a shape this movie was in, as we mentioned earlier, and the amount of work that went into it. But it's seamless. Like, I don't, even watching it this last week, I didn't see, because I was really paying attention to, like, I mean, because again, like you said, Greg, I mean, even though I've watched this movie on 4K now maybe 4 or 5 times, it's still one of those where it's like every time I watched it before, I'd know more about 4K now and all that kind of business, to where,
right.
You know, I have different TV as well. Like, I've only seen it on this TV, I think, twice. So I was like watching this time just to kind of look for any flaws, and I couldn't find any floating grain or ghost grain or dot crawl or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I didn't notice any excessive anything, really. I mean, if anything, it still looks a little faded. Mm-hmm. If any, like, it looks like it could use a punch up on a bit of the coloring, but not in every scene, like just some shots.
There's a few, yeah.
Yeah, and the night shots look beautiful. They did actually fix, if you watch the restoration part, they do point out that, yes, they did manipulate one scene digitally, and the reason was so minimal that nobody would have noticed had they not said anything.
Right.
So I give them props for that, and that's just because, if you don't know, it's in the cabin scene in the boat, when they're all talking to each other, and it flips between a couple of shots. The outside didn't match, so all they simply did was take the shots that didn't match, and because it's supposed to be like going into night or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just fixed the shot. Like, you see how they did it. It, like, they manipulated nothing other than the color outside the window, right? Like, they even show it on the documentary.
Yeah, and that's something
basically just took it from like a blue to a subtle more gray. Yeah.
Yeah, that's better than Spielberg removing the guns for walkie-talkies and stuff that George Lucas has
Right.
done. So I'm fine with that. That's a good use of digital things that you might need to do. I mean, as much as I can't stand what James Cameron has done, at least he did, like, not that it's an important thing, but he did fix the night sky and on Titanic. Not that I don't even like that movie, but, like, okay, you're fixing the sky to the way it was supposed to look the night the Titanic sank. Okay, I'm cool with that. That's a change I can sort of get behind. But, like, all that other stuff, man. But no, Jaws it's just one of those movies. Like, speaking of the 50-year documentary, is like, it truly is just one of those movies that sticks with you and is still watchable, rewatchable, holds up, and it doesn't matter that it was made in the 70s. You know, you can watch it in 2025 and feel like you're watching a movie that is just that was just made. You know, it doesn't matter what era it's set in. It's just one of those timeless classic movies. The shark still holds up for what you do see of it. The tension building, the music, the night shots. It's Quint and Brody and Hooper all together. Just like it all works to this day. It's a great movie. I absolutely love it. It's by far one of the best movies that's ever been made.
Yeah, and I swear I had the old DVDs, both of them, but I couldn't find them for this. I know I mentioned it before, but
yeah. No, I was gonna say I think I still have my DVD, but I don't know where it's at.
Well, the only one that I really, really want is, I mean, actually, I kind of want both of them again. Even though I swear I still have my booklet somewhere too, if I don't have my DVD, because I think I saw it someplace. Because I think my box might have got damaged. Because the first original edition was actually one of the first earlier DVDs. I think I said this before, but first time I ordered from Amazon, I ordered 2 DVDs that were brand new, and I got them like 2 or 3 days before Street Date, and I thought it was the coolest shit ever. So I got it like that Friday. I'm like, fuck yeah, I got the whole weekend to watch Jaws and Spaceballs. Because those were two of the first DVDs I ever ordered from Amazon.
Nice.
And so so I had that would have been the 25th anniversary edition, which was basically the Laserdisc special features cut down, as Tim was talking about in the chat. So they had the 2-hour documentary was literally cut down to like under an hour. And it has like the deleted scenes and some other stuff. But what it does have on that first disc that isn't on any other release is a collection of trailers.
Oh.
And it has some of the cool re-release trailers and stuff like that. So like for some reason, when they moved on to the next anniversary release, which I think was the 30th or 35th, where they did a 2-disc edition of the DVD, and this would be based on, I believe, the first age. It may even be the same at the 2012 one or 2000. I don't know. I'd have to look again when it was released. So, but that being said, like that had 2 discs in it, and they had just released inside. They had the full-length documentary along with the movie being remastered again, and all that kind of business and stuff like that. So that was the only reason it was 2 discs, is because they had the full documentary, but they took away all the extra trailers. You still get the original theatrical trailer, and that's it.
Right.
And then all those special features have been carried over ever since. So to the Blu-ray, to the 4K. So now this documentary that we got is the newest special feature we've had added back on.
Yes.
Or added to the set, besides the restoration documentary. I guess I should say that.
Yes.
So, but this new documentary is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
It even covered a few things that I didn't even know about Jaws, and I've seen every documentary that you can see, including the making of documentary that's on the same discs, and also other ones that aren't, from like biography and other channels and stuff like that, and other documentaries that have been done. So like I've read like the Jaws logs and all that stuff back when I was a kid, and I still have them and all that business. So I know a lot, and I was surprised at how much little tidbits and nuggets that were in this documentary that I didn't even know. So it was kind of cool. And yeah, totally. I might pick it up if I ever see it for like under $20 or something on sale. Right. Or if they would release like a Blu-ray edition of it that had it with, it'd be nice. But I don't think there is one.
No, that's Tim Hayes asked me about that too. And I was like, I think the Blu-ray disc of it is only available on the new 4K. So yeah, I don't think there's. But
again, I guess like I'm assuming this would qualify for anybody who has had it on digital prior to this, other than maybe not the Blu-ray version, but the 4K version. If you've had the 4K version, if you have iTunes or Vudu like I do or whatever, it should upgrade the special features on there, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and then you'll get the Jaws at 50. So that's how I watched it.
Yes. And it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. I was surprised to hear that he got PTSD from filming the movie. So I was
that was one of the stories that, because like he's told that story before, but he told the other part of it where he's never told before. He just said, I used to go on the Orca and just kind of reminisce about what it was like back then. He goes into more of the whole, I had PTSD when they took it away. Yeah, I freaked out, and he's like telling that whole part of the story, and like how it was kind of like this thing. Yeah. Like he would go and cry in it and have breakdowns and shit. So like that was one of the bits. I'm like, holy shit, he went a little bit more in depth into that than he ever has before. Because before he made it sound like it was, I just sit around and reminisce, and you just picture him just kind of sitting there going, I'm glad I don't have to film this movie anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite the experience. You did like 100 days over shooting over and like trying to get the shark working and everything. Is just like I could get it though. One section hits a little harder, a little different now. When he talks about how he used to call his mom and cry on that, is like after seeing the Fablemans, it's kind of weird, that
Right?
part. So like that makes sense, after seeing the Fablemans, that makes sense. He was, yeah, he's got some mommy issues. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's another reason why I think he's not real good at portraying mothers in his movies.
mm-hmm.
If you haven't noticed, like Lorraine is probably one of the more mature, respectable, responsible mothers in any of his films
Yes.
compared to some of the other ones. Like
True.
even Dee Wallace in E.T., you can tell she's kind of a fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't blatantly say it, but she's clearly like a fucking alcoholic or something. There's something to her because there's even some deleted scenes that I don't know if anybody knows about. I know it's kind of off topic, but it's still Spielberg.
Spielberg.
There's a couple deleted scenes where she's like passed out in her bed naked, and ET comes in and is just like, oh, ooh, and shit like that. They cut that out and some shit, and and obviously she's in the middle of a divorce from her husband and dealing with all this stuff. So there was some of that kind of shit that was cut out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting to wonder, like, yeah.
I mean, if you really,
She seems like a hippy dippy weird fucking like.
Yeah. Well, there's that one scene in the beginning of the movie when the kid's trying to look under her house robe and it's her son's friend, and she like doesn't think nothing of it. She just like played along with him and stuff, So there's that scene. But I was noticing like a lot of the women in his movies kind of look like Michelle, what's her name from the Fablemans, that looks like his mom. So a lot of them look just like her. And
he has some of that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And they all have like weird quirks. I mean, Laura Dern might be one of the only ones. But again, it's more like times where he's adapting somebody who's already so he already has a blueprint. And the funny thing is in the book, Lorraine Gary's character is a much worse character, right? Because she has an affair with Hooper. Same thing with Hooper. He's more of an antagonist in a way to Brody. Like that's kind of like the whole thing is, and we've talked about this at Naj. In fact, we just did a stream about it the other day, like just the different ideas and themes that are in the film and about, fears and age. And, like the book is more about him being, of the fear of growing old and all this other kind of stuff and that kind of thing. So like, and the significance of Hooper compared to Quint and all that business. So but this movie of course makes Quint an entirely kind of more of a tragic character, especially with the Indianapolis bit, of course. And that was another thing of the nugget that I didn't really, that the one person who had a housekeeper who's like, I'm not coming in tomorrow, and like, why? And like, because my son was on the Indianapolis and I just found out how he died. Like, oh shit. She just went and saw Jaws.
I'm not doing that. That's true. But I mean, that, like I said, that is like the quintessential scene in the movie. Is one of my favorite, probably my favorite scene. But yeah, I mean, yes, I know.
No distress signal had been sent.
And it's like, I love the fact that he asked to be drunk to film it, and he did. He got drunk. Spielberg let him, and he like screwed it all up. And he called him in the middle of the night, like, "Just let me do it tomorrow. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So just let me do it tomorrow." And he nailed it. And I do love the fact that he smiles the whole time he's telling the story, like, because this is like a dark story. He's smiling and stuff. So it does give Quint this character of like this tragic sort of hero character, where he himself is sort of. He's living in the area of gray. He's no longer hero nor villain, but he could be going either way at this point in time because he's so obsessed with killing this shark because of what happened to him and everything. So such a great character. And
it turns into a revenge story more so than a Captain. Yes. I mean, it is still Captain Ahab, but it's not it makes him more like you really understand more of who he is because of that. But yeah.
Yes. What's up, Rick and Steven? Delete scenes. Glad to see you guys with us. Yes, there's lots of divorce outside of Jaws. And as far as like fathers, most of the time it's like just look at Harrison Ford in Temple of Doom and stuff. Most of the times the guys are the heroes. I mean, he does usually get that right about being a hero, but you don't really get to see his father's father, like father guys. And so but anyways, it's a good movie. What can we say about Jaws that hasn't been said about Jaws? Have a good night, Tom. I appreciate you for hanging in chat with us. But no, yeah, I watched that documentary. I watched the 4K and everything, and it was, it's just it really made me think about, like, they truly don't make movies like this anymore. They really don't, and it really made me want to watch more movies from this era again. It's like every time I watch a classic movie, I always want to get back into like older films. I want to see movies made from the late 70s into the 80s and stuff. It always gets me in my energy charges to look at movies like that, for movies like that. So,
right.
Yeah. It's just
so yeah.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's just an incredible movie. I know you're a huge fan of it. Like I said, I know you've probably seen it way more than I have and talked about it way more than I have. So it's a good one. It's a good one. But
Japanese
I mean,
submarine slammed 2 torpedoes in our side, Chief.
Yep.
So we delivered the bomb.
Yep. What's that? Did it say mom? Please tell me it said mom.
By the end of that first dawn, lost 100 men. I don't know how many shocks, maybe 1,000. I don't know how many men. They averaged 6 an hour. Thursday morning, I bumped into a friend of mine, Chief. Herbie Robinson from Cleveland, little ball player.
Mm-hmm.
Thought he was asleep, reached over to wake him up, bobbed up and down in the water, kind of like a top upended. And, well, he'd been bitten off at below the waist. I'll never put a life jacket on again. That's when I was scared the most. It was my turn. Well, sorry, I'm sure I'm fucking up some of it, but I love that speech.
Close enough. It's incredible. It is incredible. I kind of now, after watching that, sorry if I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I just said anyway, we delivered the bomb.
It's good.
January the 25th, 1945, or June the 25th, 29th, 1945, even though it's July, because they had a fuck up in the book that they had, but
yeah.
The reference that they used. Because, that's the thing is, and they talk about that in that documentary about how at that time, not a lot of people knew much about that mission still. It was pretty still hush-hush, so yeah.
Yeah, even Spielberg said he didn't even know about the story till that guy told him about it. So, yeah.
It's a great story and they really get more in depth into it than they have in any other form before, and that's what I liked about it, so. Yeah. There you go, kids. It's our first pick.
I'm sure, like, if you got if you still got like cable or whatever, it's probably on demand or whatever, some streaming service probably. If you're
they actually showed it on I can't remember if it was NBC or ABC last week.
NBC, wasn't it?
Yeah, and 3 million viewers, which is respectable, but compared to the 80 million viewers that watched it in 1979 in its network TV premiere, it ain't nothing. I mean, but 3 million viewers now is a hit show.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, it's regular TV, linear TV, or whatever you would call it, doesn't draw that numbers like that anymore. But you know what? It's still probably better than a streaming service. Probably 30 million is probably still better than some streaming services shows. So, but no, you're not wrong. It was 80 million back in the day. Now it's 3 million. But no,
it's still pretty good for regular television.
Rick said he was 5 when Jaws came out, so that's lucky driving. You know what I've always wanted to do, and I've seen people do this before, is like actually watch Jaws on like a drive-in screen out in the water. I've always wanted to see that.
They've done that in certain places. Like now, what really sucked is I wanted to get out to Martha's Vineyard this last weekend because they had the 50th anniversary celebration out there, and they actually had like a live orchestra playing and one with the movie and shit, and so Richard Dreyfuss was there.
Yeah, he's the only one that don't have on that documentary because
he's been pre-canceled. Remember?
Yeah, I know.
I know it's dumb that he's not on there, but he's pretty much told every decent story he can tell about it. So
but it was nice to hear from. I mean, however you feel about Spielberg now or used to, whatever, it was nice to hear from Spielberg on the movie. Because a lot of times you don't get to hear, like, they'll say their pieces on certain Blu-rays and DVDs, and that's that. They won't talk about them ever again. So,
well, Spielberg doesn't seem to have a problem doing interviews. He just doesn't do commentaries.
Yeah, he does do commentaries. So it's always nice to hear from him doing stuff like that. But yeah, there you guys have it. Jaws. We talked Jaws for the 50th anniversary. So
for the 50th time.
for the 50th time. And you know what? I don't know why I was hiding this. I do actually. I already have it on digital. So this is a 4K of Jaws. Let's see. What's a good? Send me a question there, Tom.
I was gonna say, didn't I give it to you?
Yeah, I have it. I have it.
I was gonna say, I've given it to a couple of people because I had a couple copies.
I know I do have it, and so I don't need this. So
Well,
give me a question.
I don't know if Tim uses digital, but he was really interested in that documentary. It sounded like, but yeah, you'll have to do some sort of. I'll have to think of a trivia question, maybe not something too easy either.
Yeah, think of a trivia question. Maybe I'll put it in the chat, and whoever answers it, I'll give you guys the. I'll give you guys the digital copy if you want it. So,
I mean, let me think.
You just put it in the private chat when you think of it.
Who was the original director?
Oh, yes.
Fired because he kept referring to the shark as a whale. Don't look it up.
Yeah, nobody look it up. Brian, I'm looking at you, Brian Barth, because I know you're quick on that. So nobody look it up if you can guess it off the top of your head.
That's a tough one. Most people don't know this because they don't like to say his name in any of the documentaries. It's out there, though.
Yeah. Who was the original director of Jaws before they fired him because they kept calling the shark a whale? So the first one to answer that will get the digital copy. So no, I'm sorry.
In case you didn't know. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Danny.
No, he jumped the shark, Donnie. He jumped the shark. That's a different.
He jumped the shark. It's Brian said.
He's sitting this question out.
So there you guys have it, and I'll give you the code. But Queen Latifah. But Tom, I mean, I might as well go to you since we just did Jaws. So let's go to you until somebody answers.
All right. Okay. Now, where should I start this? Okay, let's do it this way.
Okay.
It's funny because I had not opened this, and it's been out of print for a little bit. But the Dark Half from Shout, Scream Factory, whatever. Shit Factory, you know.
Yeah.
Got some decent special features on it, but the movie itself looks like ass. But now we have this beautiful, gorgeous Vinegar Syndrome version of it.
So cool.
Even though they're, getting a lot of flack right now. I don't know if you've heard, but...
Oh, are they? I have not heard about the flack for this one.
No, just in general. We can talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
It's a different movie, but yeah. Here's what it looks like on the inside. And of course, this was directed by Romero, so it was Stephen King directed by George Romero. And it has the reversible art, which is basically the box art, the hard box. It comes with Blu-ray and 4K. And it's a remaster from the 4K, or from the negative 4K scan. And it looks gorgeous, as always, from Vinegar Syndrome. I mean, what else can I say? I think they even... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I was wanting to get this one.
I can't remember if there's any new special features on here, though. I think it's most of the stuff that's been ported over from the Shout Factory disc. There might be a few more things that weren't on there, though. Seems like there's a laundry list here. So that could be. Knowing Vinegar Syndrome, there probably is. Mm-hmm. So yeah, about the movie, though. It's one of those movies, I like it, but you really kind of have to get outside of yourself, and it's kind of like almost like a New Nightmare kind of story. It's like you kind of have to really buy into the concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to try and spoil too much of it, but for what it's about, though, is this kid who, when he was younger, he kept having these weird headaches and stuff like that, and they thought he had a tumor, but it turned out he had a twin brother that never formed, but all of a sudden his twin brother started growing again, including an eye and a tooth and whatnot. So they think that they removed the quote-unquote tumor, but really all it did was just send the brother more deeper into the guy's subconscious, and you kind of can figure out from there where it kind of goes. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of cool because, like, in a sense, you get from it. It makes you wonder if somebody didn't try to blackmail Stephen King about Bachman, because that's what it feels like. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because okay, so for those who don't know how the story starts out, he's a writer who wrote a couple books under his real name. They didn't do shit, right? So then he made up this alter ego, kind of like Stephen King did, and he wrote these trashier novels that weren't the same kind of stuff he was doing, but they were more in line with like this detective and all this other kind of stuff. And of course those took off, right?
Yeah.
So this guy shows up out of the blue one day and he's going to blackmail him to tell everybody who he really is. So he's like, fuck it, I'm going to get out in front of the story. I've been sick and tired of doing this shit anyway. And, you know, once people find out who I am, I'll just start writing some other stuff and blah, 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 blah. So he thinks that's going to work out. But of course, not to spoil too much, his alter ego brother inside of him doesn't like the idea of him killing him. Like, they even go as far as to have a fake funeral and everything for his character.
Yeah.
Or his, his character, or whatever you want to call him. Pen name or whatever.
Yeah.
And so at that moment, he starts acting out and kind of taking over the other guy. So that's all I'm going to say, because once I get farther than that, it starts to spoil some things. Because the guy kind of gets a little farther down to the point where, like I said, you really kind of got to, I don't want to use the term turn your brain off, but you just have to buy into the concept. And kind of get the idea that it's a lot like a New Nightmare kind of story. Yeah. Like, he didn't like the idea of the stories being killed, and now he's got to have more stories written. So, like, yeah, it's kind of that's the catch of it. But yeah, it looks great. So I can recommend it.
Yeah, you're right. I was wondering how it looked, and yeah, it is actually very similar to the Secret Window story. Stephen King kind of wrote
it's better
story.
though.
Yeah, it's better. Dark Half is way better. Stephen King kind of had a habit of making some of the same story over and over again like that. A lot of times is, hey, this guy's an author just like me who's dealing with something like this, just like I'm dealing with something like this, and it turns into this horror story. But I get where you're coming from. Yeah, it is a little, I never really thought about that, but it is sort of like a bit of like
a like
type of thing.
And the thing that makes me think this is about Bachman and somebody might have done this to him is he has that little bit where he's like, one of these days I'm going to write a story about this, and I'm going to put a character, and you in there as a character, and I'm going to, like, I can't remember, like, I'm going to do some horrible thing. I can't remember exactly how he puts it in the movie, but it's like, it's just like that kind of rings to, like, that would be something that Stephen King would have said to somebody who was trying to blackmail him, especially when he's all coked up.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know who I am, motherfucker?
I'm Stephen King, man. I made Maximum Overdrive.
It's in the name.
They say no more kings, but
yeah,
I'm a fucking king. No, yeah. No, I get you. I've always liked it. You know, I always thought it had sort of a little bit of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 charm to it, with the goofiness that he does get into it later on with what's his name. It's hard to say, but you know how he gets, his alter ego with this and everything, and
Frank or whatever it is. Yeah, I can't remember the name.
So like he was like the cool like guy and everything. And Romero, I thought did a really good job, and I've liked this, but now I've never even thought about that. But now, it's New Nightmare. It is sort of New Nightmare-esque. I don't think you really have to turn your brain off to it, like you were saying.
No, and I didn't put it that way. Like I said, you just kind of have to buy into the concept, because
you just gotta fall with the story.
Because, like, I guess plug your ears, or just pause, or not pause it, but just turn off the volume or whatever for like 30 seconds. Because I'll get kind of spoilerific. Because, like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because, like, at some point, it kind of gets to a point where there basically are two different characters, right? Mm-hmm. There is obviously a whole nother, there has to be, or shit doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right. So it does a pretty good job of kind of giving you the answer by the end of, like, is this thing, it is kind of like an entity of sorts, like and it has like this weird way of kind of explaining, like I said, you just got to buy into it. That's really all it is, right? Yeah. Like, the concept goes so far, and then it goes to that next level, right? And it succeeds. It's just not one of the best of the best of the best of Stephen King or Romero's, for that matter. But, it looks good. This looks so goddamn good that you can see the fucking wig and shit that what's his face is wearing. Like,
Yeah.
it's good. It looks good. So
That's awesome. And if I remember correctly, the sheriff of the cop is the same guy from Needful Things who Ed Harris is playing. So it's the same.
oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
That makes sense because it is Castle Rock. I mean, yeah.
They're the same.
It's one of the Castle Rock stories. So I know those all take place. See, that's one thing that sucks about that one series. I guess didn't turn out so well. Was like that'd been a cool concept if they were able to do that. But all right, well, what do you got for us?
Well, it was J.J. Abrams and everything, which I did like the first season though, but I never got into the second season.
I never watched it because I heard so many things about. Oh yeah, you wanted to know what was going on with Vinegar Syndrome.
Oh yeah, what was that about?
Okay, so the short version is that I know the guys over at Orbit got like, I don't know if they got like a cease and desist. I don't think it was a cease and desist. I think it was just more of like a night letter or whatever you want to call them, where they were kind of told like don't carry imported versions of movies that we have the rights to in so many words.
Oh, okay.
And it mainly revolved around The Keep, which I guess that was an imprint, I guess, put out a pretty cool box version of it. 4K version of, so basically they're like, well, that sucks that you guys don't want to sell through us anymore because that version sold a hell of a lot more than yours. And I think it is kind of hypocritical of Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because they have their own website where they do most of their shit anyway, where you have to go through them anyhow, which is fine by me. I do. So I'm fine with that. Like, if you want to be that, I like their boutique exclusive kind of like, like dark webbish kind of way they do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's your gimmick, stick with it, but don't be a dick.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're feeling the heat from this because they're getting a lot of flack for it. I've been in a couple of Vinegar Syndrome groups where it's caused quite a stir, mainly because mods are deleting any comments or stories or anything that people are putting up about it, and yeah. So that's I guess what's going on with it, and it was funny was the guy from Orbit did like a really kind of funny video on, I think it was Instagram or something to kind of explain it all. I think it's even been put up on YouTube and a few other places. But I guess that's the gist of it. Not something for me to say, fuck Vinegar Syndrome, but I'm just kind of, come on, guys.
Yeah, that's kind of.
You're gonna tell Amazon that,
right?
Because guess what? I can get imported shit through Amazon, no fucking problem.
Yeah, I could get that imported keep from Amazon just as much as I could from Orbit or Diabolic.
And that's just it. You're not all you're doing is, and in some cases, most people buy both. So what the hell, guys?
That's just somebody got in their ear. I bet somebody got in their ear about it, and so they're like, "Whoa,
look, I'm okay." On the other side of it, Vinegar Syndrome does have a point in a sense that, like, honestly, if anything, why aren't they raising a bigger stink with people like Amazon who are actually bigger dealers as opposed to somebody like Orbit or Diabolic who do deal in imports?
Yes.
And they do post, that's the whole point of, these are region B, blah, blah, blah. Because you can't technically stop anybody from selling any imported things, right? Like, I mean, that's just the way it works. But at the end of the day, we get it. You have the U.S. rights to it. That is true. Right? Like, so I guess to defend Vinegar Syndrome's point, we've got this luxury of having 4K being an open format for the most part, outside of Shit Factory and a few others putting region code. And that's the funny thing is Shit Factory's the ones who's probably been doing this shit more longer. And I'm surprised they're not bigger dicks about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
And maybe that's why you don't see a lot of their shit on other people's, I mean, it is on certain websites. Like I've seen them on Diabolic. I don't know if Orbit carry the Shit Factory stuff.
Yes, they do.
Maybe they've had a similar situation with them. I don't know. I'd have to look. Because, they're the only ones that I know of that have put any region blocking on any of their 4Ks.
Yeah. They're the only ones I've seen so far, yeah. So.
I mean, I get it, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
No, I did not. I think I did see a video. I didn't watch the video, but I did think I saw CHH had a video with the guy from Orbit on it. So that must have been what,
yeah, he's covered it pretty good, actually. And I think to the Dead Pit guys, I think also may have covered it. So yeah, those guys do great shit. Like I would love to actually talk to both of those guys. So I've talked to CH like a couple times, like in various ways, not like directly, but like indirectly through like comments and other things. So I think we're kind of aware of each other. And he's seen me in his chat before, and I've told him about Shit Factory. He's like, I'm gonna have to have you on sometime to tell my story, and it just never came to fruition. But
Well, maybe I mean, I've actually had him on the channel before, so maybe we'll get him on one day.
Maybe someday. But yeah, we speaking of Stephen King.
Okay, you want to go to your other one?
Yeah, do you want me to just because, like I said, I got to 4. Yeah, because I'm gonna have to bundle some up tonight, kids, because you didn't get to watch too many, and that's all right.
I will also
bump up those rookie numbers.
I will say I finished the first season of Twin Peaks. I watched the first 2 discs of
You're
that.
ahead of me there.
It's a 20 disc set, and I've watched just 2 discs of it. So,
I have Eraserhead coming, by the way.
Do you? I'm waiting for the Criterion sale, so I want to get Blue Velvet, and I need to get
Elephant Man yet too. Yeah.
Or is it that?
Well, I got the import of Eraser. I'm sick. I'm gonna trying to get some things on the Criterion sale, but I'm tired of trusting them with their 4K.
Yeah, I just want to get like 1 or 2. I do want to get Blue Velvet because I've really been.
There's a few I want to get of their newer ones. I just haven't yet because I'm not spending the kind of money they want for brand new prices.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, because people who are similar to that, we have the Shit Factory, and speaking of Shit Factory, release of Silver Bullet.
Yes.
AKA, I think it was called Cycle of the Moon or Cycle of the Werewolf. I think something like that in the book.
Novel. I have that.
Yeah. And I also have the old Studio Canal Umbrella import, which is region free, but this is a shit scan.
Yeah.
This is one of these shit scans I've ever seen. In fact, it's probably a telecine. It looks like ass. But this looks pretty good. The only thing is they lied on here. And this is one of the things that got me booted off their website, guys.
Yeah.
So this is one of the reasons why I haven't talked about this movie yet. So for those who don't know, this is one of the notorious movies that got me booted from the shit. Because I pointed out that they wrongly have, I don't know if I can get it to focus, that this has a 5.1 mix on it. Oh, there we got it to go.
There you go.
It does not. So I'm like, oh, cool. Silver Bullet needs a good 5 because it's in mono.
Yeah.
Could use a good 5.1 mix. Plus, which is stupid because they actually have the isolated score in stereo.
Yeah.
On both. So you're like, well, why didn't you just do a stereo remix of the sound then? That makes no fucking sense. I'm sure you got both tracks, or all the tracks, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, fucking Shit Factory. So I pointed this out to them, and their whole answer was, it never had a 5.1 soundtrack. It's like, but you motherfuckers put it on the goddamn box.
I went Ultra Volta just now. It's put on the box.
Right. It's on the fucking box. Anyway, I love this movie. It's a great film. It is one of the better. The only thing I hate about it is the werewolf looks. Yeah. It is one of the cheesier looking werewolves. It's not the worst one, but it's
that stinks to Stephen King because he wanted it to look more like a bear than a wolf for whatever reason.
That's it. It just kind of looks more like a bear.
Why, but that was his.
It's weird.
That was his input into the movie. He's like, "Can we make it look more like a bear than a wolf?" I was like,
I mean, the mystery is kind of given away a little too early. That's my main complaint, I guess. I mean, it's obvious to a point, but you could have strung it. Like, they could have red herringed things a little bit. Like, you could have made it like red herring that it was Gary Busey. You could have made a red herring that it was a couple other people in town before. Because the last person you obviously would, suspect, not to spoil the movie, but then you turn around and they make it so fucking obvious from the start.
Yeah. Once you've got it to, it's pretty,
but I mean, it's kind of like, I'm watching the movie this time, and it's like, I love Everett McGill, but you're making this way too goddamn obvious.
Speaking of
to have that whole reveal later. This has kind of a Twin Peaksy kind of
it does with the
vibe to it in a weird way.
Yeah,
kind of just with werewolves instead of whatever it is that's in the forest of Twin Peaks. But like, it's a great film. It's got Corey Haim in it. It's about this kid who's in a wheelchair and his uncle who's an alcoholic who can't keep his shit together, but the one thing he can do is be a good uncle to his nephew, and he always builds him these really rad wheelchairs, and he rebuilt Silver Bullet, which is what he calls his wheelchair because it's a motorized one, like a motorcycle practically, with an actual kick-ass engine, which is, foreshadowing some things later on. And it's one of Stephen King's more well-written, one of those ones that feels like somebody tapped his pencil, and said, this is your story, just like a story that's been around forever. Like, this is the story. Like, it's always been there. Like, it just feels like it was just naturally came out that way. And it was like Misery, just some of those ones, Carrie, Christine, ones that just kind of feel like, oh, yes, like that's just perfect, like a pitch perfect story. It's got even the movies were so good because they were able to just take all the good shit out of the books and get rid of all his fucking cocaine bullshit and kitty orgies.
Yeah.
But this is one of the better adaptations, and yeah, it's just I can't recommend it enough. Great cast. Honestly, probably the weakest actor in the film is probably the actress playing the sister.
And she's got to carry a lot of the movie, though.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is because she's got to carry so much of the film.
Yeah.
And especially because she's up against Corey Haim, who's a good. Look, you got to find somebody who can. Like, I mean, if anything, they should have got what's her face from who just was with him in Lucas.
Oh yeah, that red-haired girl.
Yeah, I can't remember the actress's name, but like that she would have probably been better. You know, somebody in her league, right?
Right.
But no, it works. It's a great film. Check it out if you haven't. Again, look for it on sale because it was one of the last ones I think I paid full.
Yeah, I think it was Carrie.
Shit factory prices.
Yeah.
But I got a little bit on a werewolf kick after that. I'm like, I want to watch another werewolf movie.
Yeah. Me too. I've seen Silver Bullet. I don't know how many times. It is one of my all-time favorite werewolf movies. And
it is a great story. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's such a good story. And I'm with you. Just the one thing is that if the werewolf design was better, I would say it almost rivals American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
If the werewolf design was better.
It would definitely, if the werewolf design was better, it would definitely be better than The Howling.
Yes. Yes. I would have to say my top 3 werewolf movies are probably, well, because I do like the original Wolfman, but my top 3 werewolf movies would probably be American Werewolf in London, The Howling, Silver Bullet, and the original Wolfman. That's my top 4.
That's pretty much my order too.
Yeah. So,
and then probably now throw in maybe that remake in there because I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
Good, actually. I think it was a little ahead of its time, is what I do think the remake was.
Yeah, it was a nice groundwork for a dark universe, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, so I was like, I got another werewolf movie. I remembered I bought this weird fucking one that's got to be fucking amazing. And it's got to be amazing because it's got Shout Factory involved, Code Red. It's one of those Vinegar Syndrome titles, their partner titles, even though it doesn't say it anywhere on here, but Code Red is one of their partners. Whoever made this movie needs to be shot.
Werewolves on Wheels.
It is not. This is the most like we talk about misrepresentative fucking posters and covers and shit. Look. It's like if somebody's like if the maker of Manos in the Hands of Fate decided like, I'm gonna make a werewolf movie. Because this thing is fucking horrible. It is. And it's sad because it's not even like so bad it's good in a Mystery Science Theater through. It's just fucking boring. Okay, because it starts out pretty good. Like the first 20 minutes or so is not bad, maybe 15 or whatever. Because you're getting introduced to this gang. And they're like, roughhousing and doing some stuff, but they're not like total assholes, right? Like they're jerks, but they're not, like, they even like fuck around with like this attendant, but they don't kill him or anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like they're being jerks, but then they get sucked into like this thing with these fucking devil worshippers, and it's actually more of a devil worshiper kind of movie. That's why I said the Manos Hand of Fate thing.
Yeah.
So like this thing, so like, okay, so one of them gets turned into a werewolf, I guess. Because you only see, because like the first wolf attack doesn't happen until like fucking 40 minutes into the movie. You get some tits in it, I guess, but she's like all under a trance and writhing all weirdly and shit and dancing all fucked up through the movie and like all that shit. So it's like whatever. I think there's like a couple pairs of tits in the movie, so I guess that it gets a couple of points for. But you literally don't see a werewolf until the last like 5-6 minutes of this movie. Like see the werewolf. And it looks like a guy in fucking werewolf makeup that you buy at the dime store. It is horrible. And then it's cut so badly. Like, and that's the thing. It's like you go from one scene, like you think somebody's killed that isn't killed because they're like fighting the werewolf, and then all of a sudden it cuts like a jump cut, and the werewolf is like shit factory, right? And then the werewolf's like fucking eating somebody, and you think it's the guy he was just fighting, but no, it's just somebody else. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? It is one of the most poorly edited, paced, written fucking movies. And it's sad because they had something here. I would have loved, right, to see a gang of fucking werewolves running around on motorcycles. A motorcycle gang of werewolves. How cool is that?
That would have been cool.
Fuck you, movie.
I love it. I'm so glad because I was almost close to buying this, so now I know I don't have to buy it.
And that was supposed to be my fun one this week.
Oh man. Have you ever seen the one with Adam Arkin in it, the werewolf, where he's a high school football player?
Years and years and years ago. I do have it, but I just haven't watched it since. I guess Tim likes it. Yeah, Manos is like, but the thing is, Tim, and I get it, Manos is like unwatchable too. But at least with Manos, it's like, it's so bad and corny that it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't even that. This doesn't even have that redeeming value. Like if it had a bunch of really bad visual effects and bad werewolf, I could care less if they all look bad throughout the entire fucking movie. It's the fact that I got to wait over an hour to see a werewolf in a movie that's only an hour and 17 minutes long. I mean, yes, he kills a few people before that, but it's all in the dark, and all you really see is like a claw like whip past the screen and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all it is, and you hear roar. Exactly, Steven. At least Manos is riffable. There's like I'm sitting here watching this, going, I can see why this has probably never been on. If it has been on Mystery Science Theater, they probably cut the shit out of it.
Yeah,
because like this, it's just a lot of just. There's nothing to really riff on. It's just a lot of talking and nonsensical bullshit. And I really think that the main two guys are fucking gay in it for each other. And I think it's literally part of the plot. That's like part of their whole like animosity towards each other. It is so fucking gay. And like to the point, like I shit you not, there's this one scene where they're like, and for no apparent reason, they're just like horsing around. And then they literally like lock into each other like they're touching dicks. They're so fucking tight. And they roll down a hill together like two fucking kids, and they're just all like, wee! It's like, God, this is gayer than the birdcage.
Madonna.
Why don't you guys just get out and suck each other off already? God damn. Not that I want to see it, I'm just saying. Like, that's what it felt like. And these two are the guys that end up fighting each other at the end. It is. Look, and I'm not really worried about spoiling this piece of shit. It's a piece of shit.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is a piece of shit. So like, it should have been called like the. Now, if you'd have called this movie like the motorcycle gang and the wife of Satan or something like that, it would have made more fucking sense. Because that's really what it kind of is. Is this bitch is like the new wife of Satan all of a sudden? So she's like, and I really fell out of like interest with it. Like I started like fucking doom scrolling on my phone after a while. It was so bad. It was so bad. Like I can't get that 78 minutes back.
It's so
disappointing.
glad.
Disappointing as fuck.
Because I literally almost bought this movie because, much like you, I am a huge werewolf fan. It's just because there's so many great vampire movies out there. We have so few great werewolf movies, and I'm a huge werewolf fan. And every time I see one like that I've never seen before, I always think about buying them. And I'm glad you brought it up before I ended up buying it, because I was really close, really close.
It just inspired me to go, I'm like, I could make a much better fucking movie than this about werewolves on fucking motorcycles. Like, I'm sitting here going, like, can you imagine having like a fucking werewolf gang, like in that motorcycle show? What the fuck's it called?
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy, where they're kind of like they're good, but they're still kind of bad, you know. But you're that's your group you're following. But like they roll from town to town and they find vampires, and the vampires are always the upper class gay guys and shit. And I don't mean gay and like they suck. You know what I mean? Just like frilly, like fruity, like like. You know what I mean? Like
vampires are the aristocrats. So
yes, exactly. Like they come in and they're kicking ass and shit. But they're the low life bikers. But of course, they're the ones who are keeping everybody safe, because they're the werewolves coming in and kicking some vampire ass, because they can smell those motherfuckers out. Smell it because they're dead. Yeah, they don't like them.
That would be an awesome werewolf movie.
Yeah, right. And because like you can kind of fuck with werewolf mythology a little bit more than humans. Or with vampires, because it doesn't necessarily always say that they have to kill or eat a human, right? And usually it's more of a sexual thing, right? Like a bestial, what's the word I'm looking for? Primal thing, right? With men and women fall for that kind of, and it's always the rose and the whole thing with the bullet and the sacrifice of love and blah, 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 blah. There's always kind of like that more to it than it is. and there's maulings and whatnot usually, but generally it always starts with like chickens and shit.
Yeah. That's
so I can you just make them like into like, and once in a while maybe they do kill people, but they kill bad people.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much lore with werewolves where you can like, oh yeah, well maybe they have control.
Damn it, Corley and Rogue! Son of a bitch. They're not motorcycle gang though, are they? But they are all gay, the vampires, that's for sure.
I mean,
God damn it.
A little bit. The Underworld movies are similar to that, but not like biker gangs. But they are like the vampires are the prissy aristocrats, and the werewolves. Spoilers for anybody who's never seen the Underworld movies.
Yeah, I've seen the first one, but yeah.
Turns out the werewolves were actually the good guys. The vampires are actually the bad guys in that movie.
It's too much like other things. I'd never really roll with it, but like that would have been cool if that's what this movie kind of was. Like, just
I mean, yeah.
Because that's what the vibe I was kind of getting, and it kind of would have been like, even though it wouldn't have been vampires, it'd have been the weird Satanist guys, because they do kind of fight them at the end, but they come in and they just get fucking wiped out by the Satanists.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking so stupid. It's just, fuck this stupid fucking movie. It's so bad. Okay, go. Get me out of here.
All right. I'm just like picturing Tom Savini's biker gang from Dawn of the Dead being werewolves. I mean...
Yeah, exactly. Like these just badass guys who roll into fucking town, and yeah, you think they're all mean and whatever, grungy and whatnot, but they're really just werewolves and they're doing their thing, just rolling around.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right,
anyway,
well,
fuck it.
Not that this movie
Motorcycle Club. Is that what I'm supposed to call them?
There you go. They're called clubs, right? Motorcycle clubs. That's what they're called. Yeah.
No, that's what your dad's in, is like a Harley club. I'm in a gang.
Wild Hogs.
Exactly. Oh, there's one I haven't watched in a few years.
My dad loved
John
that
Travolta
movie.
on a Harley. Oh, my mom did too. She loves that movie.
Because he's a huge Travolta.
Speaking of my mind, I noticed this is one we haven't even brought up, but I don't think it's ever been released on Blu-ray, and it's supposed to be getting one because I was surprised, or maybe it did finally come out. It may have come out in the Interium. Because I know it's one of my parents' favorite ones that I never really thought was all that great, but they just adored. And I know it. I don't think it's ever been on Blu-ray. For Richer or Poor, I think is what it's called.
Oh yeah,
one with Tim Allen and Kirstie Alley, or the Ride Amongst the Amish. My parents just loved that one so they saw it in the theaters, and they just adored it. I don't know why, but I was like, yeah, it was all right, but.
My mom and dad love that movie too. They really, really do. I do think it actually has a Blu-ray. I do think it does have a Blu-ray.
Maybe it got re-released or something, because I just happened to see something or somebody else brought it out, because I don't know if it was Olive or somebody like that or whoever. Yeah. I think it was a DreamWorks picture originally, so I don't know. Maybe DreamWorks just Paramount re-brought it out again. I don't know.
My dad loves Tim Allen, so
yeah. Well, my mom did. That was like, my mom and dad loved the Home Improvement show, so they went to see the Santa Claus. Well, we went to see it. I went with them, but I don't think did I go to see Rich or Poor with them in the theater? No, I don't think I did. Maybe I think for some reason I remember seeing it on video. I don't know. It doesn't really fucking matter. Yeah. Moving on. What have you got? Because
all right. This is I would say this is Stephen King light. I can't say I don't know if you like this movie or not. I don't know what it is about this movie. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about the movie, but it's called Legion.
Never seen it.
Never seen it? Do you know what it's
I've heard of it, never seen it. It's like Angels, and this is funny because what pissed me off about this one is it kind of sounded like something I had an idea for, and I'm like, well, fuck that idea now.
Really?
So I never watched it.
I don't know, but okay. I've always kind of liked this movie. It's kind of just cheesy and campy enough where I kind of like it. I can't say it's a great movie, but I've always had fun watching it. I say sort of Stephen King light because it kind of reminds me a little bit of Maximum Overdrive. It's got Dennis Quaid in it. It's got
who?
Yeah, who made it? This is why I'll explain to you why, because it's got like Dennis Quaid, Lucas Black, Tyrese Gibson, Adrian Pilecki from you guys know her from The Orville and bunch of other things. Charles S. Dutton is in it, John Tenney, Kevin Durant, and Dennis Quaid and then what? Well, what it is it's about this group of people in this cafe out in the middle of the desert, right? They're in this, like, it's almost reminds me of the place where they're in Maximum Overdrive. Dennis Quaid and his son, played by Lucas Black, run it. They've taken in Adrian Pilecki, who is pregnant, and all of a sudden, this angel played by Paul Bettany, who's Michael, the angel Michael, shows up and tells him the end of the world's coming, and that Adrian Palicki character need to be protected, her and her child. Like it's like one of those like the child is special, and God has this creed that everybody must be killed, including this child, and so like these angels descend upon on this little diner out in the middle of nowhere with this group of people, and while Michael, the angel Michael, tries to protect them, and then Kevin Durant, who was just in the newest Planet of the Apes movie, played the one guy. I can't remember, but you've seen him before. He played the Blob in Wolverine and all that. But he plays the agent Gabriel, the angel Gabriel.
Oh, I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, his name's Kevin Durant.
I think I know a guy who knows him, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. He plays the angel Gabriel, Gabriel. And so like
that's an odd choice for him, but okay.
Yeah.
Usually when you think of Gabriel, you think of either like very good looking or nearly a twink, but yeah.
Yeah. No, and this like the angels are badass angels. They're like warriors.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. He's like, but yeah, like he's more like, the rough and
no, maybe he's Michael. I'm getting him wrong. Paul Bettany.
Maybe if he's Michael, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Paul Bettany is Gabriel.
Oh, that makes more fucking sense.
He's Gabriel.
That makes more fucking sense.
Kevin Durant is Michael. I'm sorry, I got him switched back.
Pardon my French, but yeah, that totally makes a hell of a lot more. Maybe I should watch. It's not that I don't like watching them. It's just that
no, I mean I get it, but it's not a bad little movie. I've always kind of liked, because I always felt it kind of reminded me of Maximum Overdrive. That's why I've always liked it, because that's what it reminds me of, because it's about this small group of people, like that's why I said it's very Stephen King-esque, because it feels like Stephen King wrote that part of the movie, like these characters in this diner all coming together. They're very Stephen King-esque type characters. Dennis Quaid, like running this diner with his son. Their wife left. They're poor. They took in this girl, and these people like cars break down. John Tenney and his wife and his daughter car break down, and so they're at this diner. Tyrese Gibson's there. He's like he's trying to get to his daughter who's been taken from him from his ex-wife, and so like they're all there, and then like these angels, they're more like demons really than angels. I don't know why, because like they possess people, and then they come in and like to do that. And so like the whole thing is like this baby that this woman's going to have is special, and God for whatever reason decides that this baby and everybody on earth has got to die. It's another like event. And then Gabriel is trying to show God that hey, maybe this is something you shouldn't do. And then Michael was just following his orders, and it comes down to a whole like a philosophical debate about giving God what he wants compared to giving God what he needs. So that's what it's all about. But it's got some good scenes. What's his name's in it?
Yeah. Mine would have been way different, my idea, but okay. Yeah. I might check that out.
It's not a bad little movie. I mean, it's cheesy and campy, right? It's cheesy and campy. It reminds me of a bit like Maximum Overdrive. So no, I do not think Legion ever got a 4K. I think it's still only on Blu-ray at this point in time. But no, it's fun. And what's his name? I'm trying to think of his name. He plays he's in Star Trek STD. He's always he played the Silver Surfer. I'm talking about that guy.
Doug Jones or the voice?
Doug Jones, yeah, he played Silver Surfer. He has a really great, memorable scene in the movie where he's like this ice cream man, and he shows up and he like stretches out, gets real long, and it's like really creepy looking. So it's got some like sort of like really cool, creepy scenes in the movie. So he's really good in the movie as well. But yeah, if you've never seen it, I just say check it out. I mean, I don't know if you will like it or not. I can't promise that, but I've always liked it, and because I've always felt it sort of had a Stephen King vibe to it. And I would say if you're sort of a fan of the show Supernatural as well, you might get a bit of that in there. But mostly for me, it's the Stephen King vibes. And
speaking of Stephen King, did you see we're getting yet another version of The Fucking Stand?
I made
what the fuck?
You commented
the last
on my
one was
post.
pretty bad. Yeah. Sorry, what'd you say?
You commented on my post about it.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because I watched that goddamn Ezra Miller Amber Heard one.
I can't bring myself
Can you believe the two of the nutty, and what's funny is the characters that they play in it.
Yeah, and they play the crazy Amber Heard.
They play the two crazy worst ones in the the fire guy is what Ezra plays, and Amber Heard is the crazy bitch that basically double crosses everybody.
Nadine, yeah. That's I can never bring myself to watch it because I've seen clips of it online.
It sucked.
And
it was horrible.
Yeah, it looks and plus
and the ending was bad. See, that's the worst part. It's like, okay, it's fine up until to a point because, like, yeah, it's for the most part basically the same. You know, it's an adaptation, but then it takes like this completely left turn with the ending. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Stephen King wrote a new ending for it again for the show. And that's, speaking of which, Legion is a little bit like The Stand as well. It has sort of that vibe to it, like, you know, the end of days with the people.
Which is what reminded me.
Yes. So it has a bit of Maximum Overdrive meets The Stand to it. Great bringing that. But yeah, and they want to make a one movie, The Stand, with Doug Liman, and it's just like, come on, guys. Even Mick Garris, I seen Mick Garris was like, really? So, because he made the original The Stand. So, but yeah, I would, no, it's going to be it's going to be bad all around. Yes. The 1994 The Stand is still goated, as the kids like to say. I'm down with that one. That I don't think is ever going to be topped. We got Ron Paul in the chat. So what's up, Ron? Hello, how are you? Yeah, it's a movie that needs to be more than one movie, and we've already got two versions of it. I think just let it be. Just let it be, folks. But there you guys have it. Check out Legion if you've never seen it. So, Tom, you got like two more, right?
Technically, yes. I mean, well, technically I have 5 more, but...
Yeah, because But
all right, because my last one's going to kind of probably be short, but oh shit, this is going to probably be the longer one. Yeah, oh, that's kind of fitting. All right, we got another Warner Steelbook, and if you've seen any of my comments on it, you kind of have an idea already. But is Lethal Weapon worth it? My short answer, yes. For various reasons. Now, is it a bad looking 4K? No, it looks fairly pretty good for the most part. It's a pretty balanced, even looking picture. There are some spots of dot crawl and ghost grain or whatever you want to call it that make absolutely no sense to me, like during day shot scenes and stuff like that. And this has been a problem with Warner Brothers. So I know they're doing it, which means they're also putting fake grain on top of it all. So then I'm looking for it every time now. Right. So now, is this as bad as Dirty Harry or any of the Eastwood films? No. So keep that in mind. And it's also the best the film's ever looked, because I, of course, have here the old DVD collection, Lethal Weapon.
Nice.
Well, there's 2, or 3, but 2 and 4. And, of course, which is weird, because I know most people have this version of the set in the U.S. than the actual U.S. set.
I have the U.S. one.
You have the actual U.S. version, which is just a thinner version of this is really all it is. Because this has that conky wonky UK big chunky box.
Oh yeah.
Is really what it is. And then, but the thing is, what's important about this set and why this set is a big deal, because you can get the 4-pack out there easily still, but you can't get the bonus disc that's in this set unless you buy the 5-disc version of this set, which was limited, and that's probably why it's harder to find outside of this imported version, because it actually has what roughly turns out to be like a 90-minute plus documentary on the making of the first film and covers kind of the second, third, and fourth. Retrospective, but it's really great because you got Dick Donner, Mel Gibson, and Danny Glover all together in 2010 talking about the Lethal Weapon films. And I'm just sitting here going, why did we not get a Lethal Weapon movie that year? Or even a couple of years before that? Because I watched all of them, because that's the thing with this franchise, and this is one of those few franchises that to me never falls off. The only one I don't really care for as much, and this is like barely even let me put this into context. I love all these films. They're all literally like 9 or 8 out of 10 type movies.
Oh yeah.
Maybe even the first one might even be a perfect film, but 10 out of 10.
Yeah. It's a really good forequel or whatever you want to call it.
Quadrilogy.
Yeah, it's really good. All of them are bangers.
But 2 is the only one I have a problem with. And I'll tell you why. Because the beginning, the first half or the first 2/3 of the film might even be better than the first film. But the third act takes this weird fucking turn that I don't like. And some people agree with me. and it has less to do with they kill his new girlfriend. Spoilers from those who may have not seen a 30, 40-year-old movie by now. But more of the fact that they make it this weird fucking South African dude who killed Riggs's wife because he was getting too close to their operation before. I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Fucking hate it so bad that it really ruins the last, it just lingers. Because the other side of it too, with them killing the girlfriend, is the only purpose for it. I wish Dick would have stuck with his original ending, which is where she lives. For some fucking reason, they just had to kill her so they could have him go mad again. It's like, that's bullshit. Now you've taken all the progress that this character's made since the first film and just kind of threw it out the window. But luckily they get shit back on track with part 3 and 4. And in fact, 4 is probably the funniest of all of them.
Yeah.
And it still holds up pretty good.
Sorry. Wasn't Riggs actually supposed to die in part 2 as well?
Yes. Originally? In the original script he does. And I think I don't know if they actually filmed it though. Because I swear I've seen the scene where he dies, but for some reason going through all this shit in the last week here, I couldn't find it. Unless it's buried in, because here's the thing with this. You almost got to keep not so much these 3 anymore once they hopefully do the rest of them in director's cut. Because yes, they do have the director's cut in 4K and the theatrical cut in 4K. So keep that in mind. And is it a director's cut? Are any of these director's cuts that I think are necessarily movies that you need to watch or have in the director's cut? Probably not outside of the first one. I do actually feel like the stuff they add does beef up the film a bit. And I'm kind of surprised. I kind of figured out now why they probably haven't put it back on until now. And even now I'm surprised they did. Because you guys remember, because I did a little research and I think I know why. Because on this version, they have all the scenes on here, but they don't have them in the movie for some reason, right? Like, and they even have them in HD. So you're like, you have them in HD. Why are they not in the film? Well, I think I figured out why. Because there's the scene where Riggs picks up that 16-year-old hooker. That's why. And I was just kind of dawned on me, like I never really thought about it that way because he doesn't do anything with her, right? Like, because in the scene in the film. In the movie, it's kind of innocent because what happens, he picks up this hooker, she's 16, they watch TV together, right? Like, that's all it is going to be. That's one of the extra scenes added into the director's cut.
Right.
But they took it out, and it wasn't added back in until they did this version of it, and then it's gone. They did the theatrical cuts for these. Because 2 and 3 hardly have anything really added to them that's worth a shit. Like, I think 2 literally has like 3 scenes added to it. I think 3 has like a little bit more, but not much. And then 4 is just 4. You know, they never did anything for that. Yeah. But see, now this you have to kind of keep because this has a bunch of stuff that was never carried over for some reason onto this Blu-ray. But these Blu-rays actually have extra features. Well, at least mainly the first film have extra features that weren't on any of the Blu-rays.
Right.
Right. So like you got to kind of keep them all right now to kind of keep everything together. Because that's the other shitty part I'm going to complain about this. Because this has no fucking special features from the old discs. None whatsoever.
None?
If you get it in the US, guess what? There is no fucking Blu-ray with it. So unless you already own these Blu-rays, unless you get the UK import version that's in the big fancy box, you don't get any of the bonus features. Plus, you're not going to get that extra documentary that was on the bonus disc here. So keep that in fucking mind. Plus, if you want all the B-roll footage and extra shit that was put on here, because this was one of the coolest fucking DVDs that was put out.
Yeah.
Back when I don't know if you ever had this one.
Yeah, I think I had that one.
It has a whole side of special features. It's just chock full. It has the Pure Lethal documentary, which was a TV. It wasn't on TV, but it was like a TV special. Yeah, but it was made specifically for the release of these on home video, right? Because I think the home video release actually predated these by like a year or two, but they were being prepped for this release, so they just threw them out on video. But because for some reason that documentary wasn't on here, but that's because it was already on this. But because for some reason in my brain these all came out at the same time, or these came out just after this for some reason,
right?
If that makes sense. Because this already had Pure Lethal on it, so they didn't need to fucking carry it over. But that's a great fucking little documentary, because what it is, even though it's cheesy and puffy as it comes off, it has a shit ton of deleted scenes that have never been carried over anywhere else. And outtakes and other things. Like, in fact, it has the alternate opening of Lethal Weapon that hasn't been seen anywhere else. So if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It has Riggs in a bar where he kicks the shit out of a guy, and the guy's like, "You have to get the fuck out of here and can't come back, Riggs." Which is funny because I think it's the same guy who owns the burger stand in, what is it, 2 or 3, where he makes him the burger at the burger stand.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, yeah. And then there's also and that's the other thing is like in part, is it 2 or 3? I can't remember now. I think it's 3. Yeah, it's 3. I think that. Yeah, the guy that was doing all the remodeling in part 2. Yeah, it has to be right.
Mhm.
So the guy that was doing all the remodeling in part 2 in the house, he's doing remodeling on Riggs's place in part 3. But all his scenes I think were cut out, but they're in the director's cut. But that's like all it is really for the director's cut stuff. So I don't know if you've ever seen them or if people are curious.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the director cut stuff.
Oh yeah, because like Lethal Weapon is the one that has more of the stuff added to it because there's a whole opening bit that's not in the director's cut. I think it was mostly scenes that were used for the TV cut is what it is, which is Donner's kind of norm. And it's one where he comes up and he shoots a school shooter, and that's like I think his intro scene, or if not, like it's the scene after his intro. But like that's also like referenced in another like, elongated scene later on. That's like part of it's in the theatrical cut, but then they added on bits to it. And like I said, the hooker scene and some other bits.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene because there's a scene where he breaks his TV, and I'm pretty sure that's not in the theatrical cut. Because then they have a follow-up scene to that where he buys a new TV.
Mm.
So like because he throws the bottle of beer through the TV, and then he doesn't really care so much about the TV, but he's more upset that he knocked over his wife's picture.
Right.
So
yeah.
So yeah, it really gets more into the character stuff. Like, and I think there's some more stuff with the Murtaugh family and stuff like that as well. It's kind of added in here throughout.
Yeah.
Dispersed throughout. So like, there's just little bits and pieces, but that's the one. The first one is the one and that's the one we have here now. Finally, the director's cut here, which I mean that's the one that we really need on an extra bonus version of, or whatever you want to call it. But is it worth the upgrade? For the most part, yes. It's not nearly. It doesn't make nearly as bad of the problems that some of the other ones they've had. Just sucks that they don't have any of the special features from the old stuff on it whatsoever. There's just 2 new interview things that clearly have nobody but basically Danny Glover and Shane Black are the only 2 people that are really worth a shit, obviously. I mean, yeah, they got Dick Donner's wife. Sorry, I don't mean to put it that way, but otherwise it's just a lot of people who could just kind of worked ancillary to the film or just watch the film. Right. I don't know what. Because like, yeah, there's no Mel Gibson whatsoever. Right, which is probably another reason why they don't have any of the old special features. Right. It's like they're trying to erase Mel Gibson from anything other than the movie.
You know why.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good night. Say good night, your daddy. See you next Wednesday. But I'm glad because I was waiting on your review of it before I bought the 4K of it. So I was wondering if it was worth it because I do really enjoy all the Lethal Weapon movies.
I'm surprised that the Steelbook's actually selling out most places because, I mean, I am, but I'm not. Because the Blu-ray, the standard Blu-ray actually has the better cover. It just has the standard, basically, like...
That's probably
a
one I'll buy.
of this, basically, but yeah. And that's what the UK import box set thing has on it, too, but that has the same exact Steelbook inside.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the one I would buy, would probably be the standard edition. Brian Barth, you never know if I hope he would make it. You know, we'd see. Time is passing on, and Glover's getting pretty old. We'll see. You never know. But like Tom just mentioned, will Warner Brothers allow him to with the because he's Mel Gibson. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Well,
that's just it. If they're going to make the movie, they got to make it with Mel. And, I never did finish my point of where we missed out on a movie. We should be waiting on a 6th film, not a 5th film. And it almost feels like the 4th film was setting up another film after that. But then you get that kind of perfect ending. So part of me is almost like, you know what? We don't really need it. We got bookends on this franchise. It's great. But there's potential for more. I just feel like there should have been a movie like 10, 15 years ago now that would have been more like, Danny Glover passing the torch to Chris Rock full time. Yeah. So then it would be Chris Rock and Danny Glover doing most of the action stuff. And you could have, Danny show up in more or less elongated cameo bits with like Joe Pesci and stuff like that, doing their kind of things in there because they're retired. Because that's the thing now, if they actually make this movie, let's just say for the sake of argument, Warner Brothers gets their shit up together and they try to pull this off and get Lethal Weapon 5 made for the anniversary in 2027.
Uh-huh.
Do you guys realize that Murtaugh's character would be 100 fucking years old?
Seriously?
He was 50 in the first movie.
That's right, he was, but he was only Danny Glover was like 40 something.
Danny
right?
Glover was only 38 in real life. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Danny Glover's only like really 80 something or whatever.
Yeah, now.
But he looks like that. So like, yeah, regardless of what you say, you can't really do anything with the guy now. So that was the thing, is like, so my point I was getting at is like, okay, so then I would be able to accept that by the 6th film, now that you've passed the torch off to Chris Rock, that's where you really just get elongated cameo from Danny Glover, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because he's really not even really there anymore. He's just old guy yelling and hitting Joe Pesci with a stick at this point. You know what I mean? Like that.
I mean, that would work. You'd have Joe Pesci and him just making cameos in the movie.
Yeah,
together.
and bitching at Chris Rock for being a horrible, stupid, son-in-law or something. You know what I mean? Just
yeah.
That's his whatever shtick you come up with him to do. Because at that point, what can he do in action? Because at that point, you're putting Mel like even beyond where Murtaugh technically was too, in a way. So like, yeah, you got to only do one more. But I feel like if they'd have done one more a few years back, when Danny was still able to do some action, and then he finally just says, "Yeah, this is it, I'm done," kind of thing, and he's just going to be in cameos and stuff. And because there's other guys who could direct, because that's the thing. It's not so much that I don't think Mel could direct. It's directing and acting at the same time that can be a pain in the ass, especially if you're the lead star.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, not like everybody's like Eastwood, where he doesn't give himself any fucking lines. So, like, I mean, there are a couple of people, like, I would have said Shane Black a few years ago, but after the Predator movie, I'm like,
well,
like, oh yeah, he'd have been perfect to come in and kind of direct the final one or whatever. But there's also Jan de Bont.
Yeah.
Because I know he was the director of photography on at least one or two of them. Because he went from, I know, part Lethal Weapon 3 to jumped on to like Speed and all that kind of shit. So there's 2 guys I think could possibly take the directorial reins if they had to, but I know Dick wanted Mel to. And at this point, though, it's like the weird thing is that the Mel's kid from part 4 and Danny's grandkid would now be, let's see, because this was
was it 1998? I want to say.
I'm thinking it was 98. I think, yeah, I think it was 97 or 98. Yeah. 98. So yeah, 98. So here we are. They would almost be 30 years, like 30 fucking years old by that point.
Right. 6.
What?
Would it be 26? Is that how old they would be?
Well,
you hear
if
me?
2027, if 2027 is when a new movie comes out.
Oh yeah, 2027.
That would be 30 years since 1998, almost 29 years.
29, yeah.
Because I graduated in 98, so 2028 will be my 30 year thingy, whatever you call it.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're already adults, shit now.
Yeah, they'd be grown. They'd be grown.
So then I get to that point, and I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't know if they should even really mess with it.
To be honest with you, I kind of hope they don't make it. I kind of hope they don't, because, like you said, we probably should have got the 5th one if they were going to do it 10 years ago, if not, more. Because where it stands, where it ends, where the 4th movie ends on a really great note, like with the whole family coming together and everything in the hospital, and all the pictures and the years that they were together. That works so well. So. Yeah,
it's left in a way that you don't need another one, and it was long enough between 3 and 4 that
I mean, and Media Mark, Mike, I would like to see an old man Mad Max.
Everybody wants to see that.
George, whatever, is just I don't think he can get it through his head. Nobody wants to see Furiosa. They want to see old man Mad Max. They don't want to see Tom Hardy. They don't want to see Furiosa. So what can you say? But no, I'm glad that you give it a little bit of a stamp of approval for the 4K, because I probably won't buy those Clint Eastwood ones because I've heard a lot of shit about those.
I mean, they're not so badly priced, I think, for the standard 4Ks if you don't want to get the steel books, but I mean, that's just it. Just know what you're getting into. And most people probably won't even notice this shit. It just sticks out to me like a sore fucking thumb. And my biggest thing is always like, why? Just fucking why?
Yeah.
Especially when you're scanning at such a high resolution. What the fuck's the point?
Yeah.
Because you're just destroying the resolution. And Is that why you're doing it? Because of course it's going to look grainier because you're getting even more finer detail. Like, what the fuck do you expect? Like,
It's true.
it's like, I swear sometimes these people that are working on these movies don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I love that clip. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
So do I.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. 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 They don't.
What's funny is that the ladies in the background are like, no, they don't know. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. No, they don't know.
Please, for the love of God, somebody clip this.
I got this shit. I got the whole song. Somebody made me make a
You
long.
dancing and everything, man. we just been canceled. The scream has been taken out. The F words. Oh man.
This is the extended remix. That's why.
They gonna forget
They're gonna fuck it up.
I got white boy syndrome. God. I can't dance.
Oh, this isn't the one with more of the don't know what the fuck. I have a version which has a lot more of those in it. So now would you knock over, guys? Jesus. I've had a day over here, I tell you. So yeah, I can recommend Lethal Weapon.
All right.
Sorry.
I'm down with it. I'm down with it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm by the
Down
standard
with your
one.
bad self.
If I could, I can't. I ain't got the moves like you got. So
I got them moves like Jagger.
I just got the pretty face and the guns. So that's all I
This
got.
is true. Those are the guns.
All right. Well, I guess we
What do
can
you got?
move on. I know this is a movie that you don't really like that well, but I do like this movie. I'm sorry, I do. But I did have A Knight's Tale. This is the Blu-ray.
It's not that I don't. Well, okay, that is true. I did say I don't like it because I never finished watching it.
Okay.
I think the scene where he has Nikes or whatever, I'm like, nope.
He doesn't have Nikes. They put the Nike check on his armor.
Yeah, or whatever that thing was. Like, yeah, I'm just like, nope, nope, not gonna do it.
I got the new 4K steelbook of the movie. So it's a really nice steelbook. I like the steelbook. I like the artwork they put on it. It's got a great cast to it. Like I said, I've always liked it. Now the Blu-ray in this is a different Blu-ray than this Blu-ray, and I will tell you, this they fixed the aspect ratio from the Blu-ray and the color grading, so the 4K looks 100 times better than the Blu-ray.
What was wrong with the aspect ratio? It was just aligned wrong,
It was a little cropped. It was a little cropped.
Okay.
From what I remember is they had it like well, maybe not like the sides were cut off a little bit on the Blu-ray because like it had it stretched up a little more, so it cut off the sides or whatever. And the color on this is a little different than the actual. They fixed the color because it makes some of the faces in the old Blu-ray look like they have like a pink face, like I do right now.
Strange considering it's Sony, but yeah.
Yeah, but the 4K they fixed the color. They fixed.
Or it is
the
Sony. Or is
aspect.
it Paramount?
That's.
I thought it was Sony for some reason.
Columbia Pictures.
Yeah.
Columbia Pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
But who put out the new one? Is it Sony again?
Sony, Columbia Pictures.
Oh, so they're doing Steelbook onlys now? I didn't even notice that.
Well,
So
they
this
did
one.
do Starman. So
That's true. The Steelbook only too. Yeah. Oh well, yeah, and they did do that with Heavy Metal as well. Yeah.
I'm sure this will get one down the line, but yeah,
Like
the
down
Blu-ray.
line, yeah.
Yeah, the Blu-ray in this is the new scan of the Blu-ray because like here's the old.
Yeah,
Blu-ray.
that's pretty typical of Sony. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So and the Blu-ray plus the Blu-ray has all the new special features because like this has dick for special features, nothing. So this has all this Blu-ray has special features.
That movie actually came out when I had my video store. I don't think the video made me money back, but the DVD did.
Yeah. Well, I've like I said, I've always liked it. I know it's big amongst the women. So
yeah, it rented well. It was just, it was that time when VHS was on the cusp of kind of starting to be phased out. Not exactly phased out, but people were starting not interested enough in DVD, and it was kind of a weird time.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry.
I get it, and I get it.
I'm not trying to hate on the movie because I know a lot of people like it.
Yeah,
I do.
But I get your complaints, and I get Victor's complaint. I get people's complaints about the movie. So it's
okay. Here's my thing: is maybe, and it's my own fault, right? Is because maybe I was expecting a cool, in-your-face Highlander style kind of like, night movie. Right. It had been a while since we had a nice sword and, night type tale in a while, and I'm like, oh, okay, this might be cool. And then all of a sudden we got We Will Rock You. They're singing in the fucking crowd. It's like, what the fuck is this like a Mel Brooks movie?
It's a
like that's what it started
comedy.
feeling like. Yeah, and I'm like, this is totally not what I was expecting.
Yeah,
and I don't know. Again, maybe it's me. Maybe it was the advertisements. I don't know. But I was just so turned off that I don't remember finish watching it ever. But I remember at the time my girlfriend loved the goddamn thing. She finished watching it because we had, like I said, we had a couple copies of it at that time. I'm surprised I still don't have it on Blu-ray or DVD. I mean, but I'm not, because it would be when I'm like, I'm never going to watch this, so why would I keep it?
Right. I get you. Like I said, I get you. I hear people's complaints about it.
I did have it in my cart a couple times to I was thinking about it, but yeah.
It's not for everybody. It's really not for everybody. And I do think the marketing of the movie was a little bit misleading. And I don't know how well this did in the box office, but I don't remember it doing too well at the box office.
It did okay, but the video, you're right. The video was where the thing was. And like I said, it was really sad that I didn't, I mean, maybe it did better than I remember, but I think it did all right. I have to look up the actual numbers, but it was pretty popular. It was kind of instantly popular in a sense. Like, I don't remember having like a gestation period where it took a while for people to kind of find it. Because you're right, having Heath Ledger, there was something to the ad campaign that made people kind of want to see it. And it was both men and women, not just women, but it did have especially women because of Heath Ledger.
Yes, it's true. It's true. I will say that the chick here, the one that he falls in love with, she's a bit annoying. She kind of grates on you in the movie, So I will give it that much. She's probably the weakest link in the movie. Her casting, her character, the actress playing her, she's probably the weakest link in the movie. But I've always enjoyed the movie. I always thought it was funny. I liked Heath Ledger's performance, and I also liked Rufus Sewell, who plays the bad guy from Dark City. So he had that, and what's his name plays the prince. I can't think of his name right now. I can't think of his name, but he plays like the prince in the movie. Alan Tudyk is great in the movie, and Mark Addy is great in the movie. So, but yeah, I get people. I get if some guys don't like it and everything. I completely get it. I just always liked that.
I'm in the minority. Like, I totally understand that. Like, I'm way in the minority on that, really. I mean, I get it.
So. Yeah. So, but I mean, I've actually had that steelbook since it came out like a month ago, I think it was. And I finally got around to watching it, and it looks great on 4K. It really does. So, like, if you're a fan of this movie, and I know it's a steelbook only set, you may get a regular down the line because Columbia or Sony likes to do that at first. They've done it with a couple of their titles. The 4K is worth it because they did fix the aspect ratio. They did fix the color. It looks great. Once again, I didn't really notice any problems with the grain or anything. So it looks good. It's a fun movie, but once again, I understand people's complaints that they don't like it. And that was my last one. But anyways, for anybody who doesn't know what
Hey, talk about the shit you like. Quit talking about, you know.
No, I just kind of like because I like this movie. But anyways, so here's the story of the movie for anybody who wants to know. Because it does have like modern music. It has Queen's "We Will Rock You" and people do sing along with that and stuff. Like David Bowie's in it and his music, not him. But the story is Heath Ledger, Mark Addy, and Alan Tudyk. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I don't even know how you say his name. But, you know, he's a resident alien guy. You've seen him a million things. Firefly, all that. There are these, like, squires to this knight. You know, they're, like, peasant squires to this knight. And their knight they do has died. And he's competing in, like, the jousting tournament is like the basketball, the football, the baseball of the day where everybody shows up. There's athletes, people like if they had cards, they would be collecting cards of knights, so it plays in that. And so like Heath Ledger puts on the guy's armor so they can win because all you needed to do was stay on his horse. The night that you had to stay on his horse and they would win and then they could get some food because they're hungry, they're starving.
People were so easily entertained back then. It's like all you got to do is stay on this horse.
Yeah, you just stand there because the rules were like if you break a lance,
I know, it's a little bit more than that. But
yeah, if you break a lance, you get a point. If you break a lance on their head or something, you get 2 points, and then if you knock them off their horse, you get 3 points. You win the match and their horse. So that's like the tournament. But so like the guy the night they were with just needed to stay on his horse and he would have won. So Heath Ledger puts on the armor, he wins the tournament, and he decides that, hey, I'll be a knight and we'll do this. We'll go from tournament to tournament and we'll win and make our riches finally. But you have to be of noble birth. So they run into Paul Bettany, who is a writer, and he writes up his, pedigree and everything. And that's how they do it. And then even, that's where the story goes. And he meets the woman and he starts winning and everything. But of course they're going to find out eventually that he's a peasant. He's not really of noble birth. And so not to spoil much from there, but I do like the movie. I like the characters. I like the friendship. I like how they, they come together. And I do like the jousting tournaments. I do like how they do that. I like some of the actors in the movie. So I've always liked the movie. And what can I say? Women like it too. And it's a good thing to throw on when you're with a lady and maybe stuff can happen. Just saying, it gets their motor running. So that's all I'll say about that. But there you guys have it. There's my Steelbook 4K of that. So it is worth it. It is worth it on 4K. And like I said,
are you saying it gets her ready?
It gets her ready.
Get ready, cause here I come. Get ready, cause here I come. I do have the soundtrack, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's got great.
Yeah.
It's got a good soundtrack to it.
Yeah, no argument there. It just felt out of place for me.
Yeah.
It totally could just be like I was not in the right mindset for this or whatever. Knowing what it is now, this many years later, like I said, it's been on my I've hovered over it a few times. Maybe I get it, but yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, if you want to pick it up, like the old Blu-ray, the special features on the old Blu-ray is just, I believe the trailer is all. Yeah, as far as I know. And then like with this, you get new, deleted, and extended scenes. You get the commentary with director Brian Hegeland and actor Paul Bettany. You get 6 deleted scenes with video introductions. You get Quill and Quarter Horse, second unit photography, gag reel featurettes. Robbie Williams and Queen sing "We Are the Champions" music video, and the domestic and international trailers. Now, also this contains the I didn't even bring that up. It has the extended cut on 4K. So you get the theatrical and extended cut both on 4K, which is like maybe 5 minutes of extra stuff. There's nothing real.
And I believe that the extended stuff actually was for the Blu-ray initially, wasn't it?
This
Blu-ray, the DVD didn't have it. At least it didn't until they did a special edition or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, this Blu-ray does have the extended cut as well too. But once again, it's only like 5 or 6 minutes, and it's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing special. It's just like a little bit extra longer scenes, and you're like, oh, okay. But there you guys have it. Check it out if you want to. I like it. I enjoy it. So
there you go.
There you have it. And so speaking of getting her engine ready, Tom, you want to talk about that last movie?
Oh shit, that is a pretty good segue. So needless to say, Werewolves on Wheels didn't pan out this week. That was supposed to be my fun one for the end of the show. But fortunately, or I can't say unfortunate. It wasn't very unfortunate at all. I'd gotten this a while back from Vinegar Syndrome. So this was actually even before I knew the kind of stuff. I mean, I knew what they were releasing for the most part, but I didn't know that they carried full on XXX porn. And yeah,
me those dollars. No.
Which side can I actually show here? Like, yeah, like, I don't even know. It's okay. So I did not expect this to be a full-fledged XXX porn film. I thought this was going to be like a Skinamax parody. It's called Sex World. Sex World is the name of it. I thought it was just going to be a parody of Westworld. Instead, you could almost consider it like a sequel in a weird way, but it does have some fun. Okay, funnily enough, like, okay, because remember Bat Pussy was really a disappointment, and I bought that after this, so keep that in mind. So like at that point, like I kind of knew what Bat Pussy was, so I kind of knew that they had that stuff, but I just happened to grab this, and I'm just like, oh, I'll check it out, see maybe it's funny. No, it's not bad though. It's actually not bad for a 70s porno. It's not bad. Got actually a followable story, decent enough actors. The scenes are actually well shot, I guess. I mean, it's in 4K. I can actually say I own a porn film in 4K. So, Kay Parker was one of the people.
So
yeah, I mean, Kay Parker was somebody I think I recognized in it, and maybe one or two other people, but like I was kind of surprised that it didn't have some of the 70s regulars in it. But no, it was actually kind of a well-ish produced form. Well, yeah, I'll be in my phone. Okay, so like the basic story is kind of like Westworld, but it's more or less you go to Sex World, right? So it's couples and individuals who have some sort of fantasy or issue that they want to work out or have play out. And yeah, it plays out pretty much like you'd figure. I wish I had more to say about it than that, because I mean, there's nothing that really stood out to me as far as specific people or characters. But like, yeah, it's pretty much just Westworld, but it's Sex World. It doesn't really lean into so much of it. Does a little bit, but not like as much as I was expecting it to, especially considering this cover. This is very misrepresentative of what the movie is, to be honest with you. But it's not bad. It's not a disappointment. I don't even know if you can still get it anymore. Because this is one of the Vinegar Syndrome ones from back in the day, like I said. You may still be able to get it. But it's also got the soundtrack too, just in case you want music. The soundtrack.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did they fully separate the Vinegar Syndrome? Because they were separating all the porn from the site because they were going to, they're starting to go a little more commercial. So they were taking. Did you know about this?
Mm-mm.
Like they started a new label.
Oh no, this is an old.
Okay, so I mean, it's not like a new label. It's Vinegar Syndrome.
Oh no, it is Peakorama. Peakorama is what it's under.
They've separated all the porn stuff, whatever you want to call it. Oh
shit! Let me make sure I can actually show that
from the main Vinegar Syndrome website and make
we're good. Okay.
So yeah, I've heard of the
Peakorama. Okay, yeah. So there you go.
I know they were going to separate them because
they even got special features up on this bitch. You see that shit? I didn't even know that because I wasn't paying attention. I'm just like, holy shit! I'm just watching in the first half, like.
This is not what I anticipated it to be. Did
you see that shit? Sadie talking to nobody.
Sadie had to leave the room.
Yeah, Sadie, you're gonna have to leave. No. Cat, quit watching me. Quit watching me. It was a bit of a surprise. But yeah, I was kind of, like, because look, I guess what my commentary on it would be this is like, some people I know have a thing against porn. I understand it, right? Especially if it's a religious thing. I get it. But even porn has suffered what mainstream film has in the last couple decades, especially since it went to the internet. Because once it went to the internet, because at first it was all about like, we don't have a ton of bandwidth or a lot of storage, so we're just going to show you the best scenes and that's it. So like porn got really short, and like I think a piece of what made it what it was and not so graphic in nature of like, how do I put this? Like it used to actually have stories, and it was titillating in a way that just wasn't with the sex. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, we joke about Debbie Does Dallas, but Debbie Does Dallas was actually played in theaters, and it had a story,
Right.
a plot,
And it grossed the type of money that some movies wish they could make.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
Like, and that's what I can't believe hasn't got a fucking Blu-ray release yet, I don't think. And same thing with Debbie Does Dallas. Now, I think Debbie Does Dallas 2 has.
From Vinegar Syndrome.
Which so I don't know if maybe they just can't find the stuff to do it with. That's very possible. Because I'm sure like porn industry shit was never kept nearly as well as.
No, I doubt it. That's why I'm
Especially during
really
the video
surprised you
age.
can get like a 4K version of something,
I was surprised at how good this looked and good a shape it was and everything. Like, bravo to whomever. I mean, again, you get a little bit of everything in the film as far as like whatever your style or flavor is. Like, I mean, I guess the only thing I guess would be out of date is they do kind of make fun of the gay people that are in the the gay guy that's in the movie, but like they talk to him and stuff like that, but they don't actually show his bit. Let's say, but they do show the Leslie bit.
Well, I mean, that's what towards built
That's a
on,
given, right? Yeah. So anyhow, again, it was a little more so I was taken aback just at the idea of like, okay, this is not what I was expecting it to be more along the lines of like Flesh Gordon and the Skinamax kind of parodies. I don't know why I knew didn't know any fucking better. But in my defense, I mean, the way that this poster makes these posters, plural, on the box art, it makes it look like it's a little bit more higher caliber quality kind of thing. And it is. It very much is in that respect, as far as like, I mean, you guys got to remember, this was probably the time where they were spending the most money on these films. Because everybody was, going to see these in theaters. This was just on the cusp of home video coming out and stuff like that. So, like, they would actually have to make these films watchable for people for 2 hours in the theater, 90 minutes in the theater, whatever. Yeah. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's actually a watchable film at the same time. Now, I wouldn't say it was a great fucking film. Like I said, I wouldn't even say there was any real fun moments, because I've seen some pretty good porn parodies, right? And I'm not even talking about the Axel Braun modern stuff. I mean, there's classic old ones that were done of Star Wars and some other ones that were actually pretty good. Star Trek The Next Generation had a pretty good one back in the day. So, I mean, they're out there. It just, you guys, like, again, and if you're totally offended by this kind of shit, I totally understand. And I don't hold it against you. It is what it is. I do own a few, but I don't own many. Okay, I have a few, but not many. All of mine, actually, I can't even say most. All of mine are old. And one of them's fucking Bat Pussy, so. Trust me, that movie was missold. That was like false advertising. It totally wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Which is bullshit. Total bullshit. Cannot recommend Bat Pussy, but I can recommend Sex World. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
You didn't let Robin in there, did you?
Fuck no. We tell him to stay out when we use his computer.
I will say I don't have.
I generally lean into clown porn.
I wonder why.
I don't understand. What the hell does that mean?
No.
Are you like shrinking me right now? Are you being a psychologist?
No, I mean, do you have any foes that are sort of clownish?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I just like clown porn, and I like watching National Geographic videos about kitties and penguins. And I watch a lot of kitty videos online too, on my phone, on my bat phone.
Catwoman? Anyone?
What are you talking about? You're insinuating too much shit here. I don't like it. It's like you're two-faced. You're totally a two-faced son of a bitch. You know that?
Let me flip a coin here.
Wait a minute. Flipping a coin, two-faced. Riddler, is that you?
Riddle me this.
I knew it. Only the Riddler would pretend to be Two-Face.
Oh, whatever. You're watching the Hush movie. Oh, that's horrible.
I told you I'm the world's greatest detective.
Yes, yes, you are. You found me out.
That's the show, kids. No, just kidding. You got one more, don't you?
No, that was it. I'm all done.
Oh, we're done. We're
done.
done.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that was a short show.
Yeah,
2 hours. Cool.
So, go figure.
We're a movie show. Movie length tonight.
How about that? I can't say I have any XXX porn like you. The most I have some Showtime Cinemax stuff. I don't really have.
I mean, I know you do the USA Up All Night stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not going to sit here and
stuff.
show off the ones I have, but I think I have like 2 more other ones, and I think all of them have been from Vinegar Syndrome companies.
Yeah.
Like, what's this one? This one is Quality X. So that maybe not, but again, like there, I don't have very many, and the ones I do tend to like search out are, and kind of it is based on, okay, this is I guess maybe a story, I guess. So when I had the video store, they wouldn't allow me to rent porn. The landlord wouldn't, right?
Mhm.
So that was kind of bummed me out, because I was like, that was one of the things I was going to try and make some money on, and it just didn't pan out. But before that, it all kind of come to play. I started buying a few things, and I actually had a really great box set that had like Deep Throat, Debbie Does Dallas, Candy Stripers, The Devil and Miss Jones, and I can't remember what else. Another old classic,
Mhm.
OG one that everybody knows. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was like a box set. It was a nice box set. But as soon as I found out I was going to have my kid, I gave it to a buddy of mine who was a little bit younger than me. It's kind of like, this kind of rite of passage, like, here you go, man, because I ain't going to be able to have this stuff around, anymore, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I don't know what he ever did with it, but I wish I had never given it to him. Because, yeah, those movies are harder and harder to find, it seems like sometimes, especially the classic old ones. And like even The Devil and Miss Jones is one that was released like a regular film, right? Like people went to see that movie. Like I've had stories where like my aunt and other people have told me about, oh yeah, I went to see The Devil and Miss Jones.
Weird.
Right. And we actually had people ask for that. Those were the ones that people would always ask for at the store too. And I felt really bad. I'm like, I mean, I could borrow you a copy of it, but I technically am not supposed to rent it. I mean, and I kind of wanted to make an argument with my landlord, like, look, I understand not carrying like big booties fucking 59, but you got to kind of give me a little leeway with like, some of the classics. You know what I mean? Because even regular film fans don't consider those. But what's the word? Because it is technically hardcore porn, but it's not like, it's got more class to it still, even though it is what it is. Does that make sense to people? I mean, I don't know if I'm preaching to anybody here who understands what I'm getting at, but like, I mean, the shit's shot on fucking film. You had cinematographers. They had actual lights. They had to have the film processed and edited. You had to have a story and like you had actual actresses and actors, not just people who fucked. Like it was, it had something to it that wasn't just we're going to just have these two people in the scene fuck, right? Like that's, I don't know how else to explain it. It may be somebody in the chat, but yeah.
Maybe. But that's the show for tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And
is there a horror film with a similar name, Candy Stripers? Maybe Corley and Rogue. I don't know.
Maybe there might be.
I don't
know. I know I've seen movies with candy strippers in it in horror movies. So,
Very
but true. Yes, nurses, you tend to get killed wearing those. But thank you, Tom. Thank you for everybody out there watching us tonight. Everybody chat, everybody on YouTube and X, and make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to Midnight Edmonds' Edge After Dark, my channel, and everything. And we will see you next Wednesday. As always, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
How you doing? Bitches leave.